You have some of these, they're not, I mean, they're different. They're Black Forest. They're all right, but they're doing a pinch.
Hey, do you want to say?
I will.
Hey, Rigsby will say the prayer.
Wynn is here to do it.
Who is?
Wynn, Pastor Wynn.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I didn't
Randy's
realize
here. Randy's here to do it.
that. Okay.
Oh, I didn't put that on there, so I ain't gotta
Hey.
take it off.
You eat breakfast in the morning? You got anything going on? Gonna get breakfast in the morning? Yeah, text me, let me know. I get paid tomorrow, so I can go out to eat.
That's my piece too. Yeah, that's fine, it's awful.
Gas prices cut my budget back.
Oh, yeah.
It's got that backwards again.
You're right, that
Be doing
wasn't on
more
there.
Zoom
I thought it
meetings.
was.
I cooked from home last night and tonight.
Having
And my wife
Tim
said,
Jones
can we go
problem.
out? I said, we gotta figure it out. It cost me $90 to fill that Lexus up. And usually it's like 44.
It's got me and Robin on the camera.
Complaining about the price of filling up a Lexus.
Well, he's putting premium in.
Yeah.
No,
Or felon.
Yeah, but that doesn't have that big of a fuel tank. Like my truck, I mean, that's like a
Yeah.
26 gallon or almost 30 gallon.
Yeah. I broke 100 with a Suburban.
Yeah,
I couldn't
it
believe
probably will. I haven't filled it up since the price jumped.
Where'd it go? Hey, George.
welcome, welcome, welcome.
We're gonna keep going here.
He come tell us we're gonna get our money back.
That's a valid question.
I may be asking it.
It's one of these.
Not bad, not bad. Where do you go? Hey, Tim.
They're in there. You got it, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, girl, I don't know. Try one more thing. Where's Jim?
Let's make sure Robin's.
Here's Jim.
Do you have two of these? What have I got two of these for? You got one of these? Have I got yours?
By Oliver.
I should have mine. Yeah, you got one. You get two of them?
7.
I got one enterprise and general fund. Maybe it's just later here, I don't know. Wait a minute, I didn't get a, I guess I got water enterprise. No, I didn't. I think I've got two of these, I don't have water enterprise. I got one of the water enterprise, that's the same thing. Is it water enterprise on there?
I'm just not seeing something. Here we go.
That's the same thing.
Okay, hang on.
Let me have that one, because I like where it's stable. Take that.
Like I did see
Wait a
you.
minute, is it?
Miss Robin, you want a copy of mine?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Voting.
Good Lord, have mercy.
It is March the 10th, 2022, calling this council meeting, forgive me, we're calling this council meeting to order. Our, got the date?
Pledge.
You got the date? We're good. Okay, just got, get the necessaries out of the way. Kind of new to this thing. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would all stand. We're fortunate this evening to have Pastor Wynn with us, who will do our invocation. Randy?
Thank you, Mayor.
Certainly.
Let us join together in prayer. Lord, we just thank you for such a beautiful day. We are grateful for your love. We are grateful that we can come together here tonight as a free people. Lord, we have been blessed. We need to take that seriously. Lord, I pray for your guidance to be with the mayor and council members tonight and those who are participating from the audience. I pray that your Holy Spirit would be the guide. I pray for civility. I pray for your love to shine forth. And I pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Need to review and adopt the agenda?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to propose two changes.
Certainly.
Circumstances being what they are, I would like to reverse agenda item 9 and 10 under new business. So 10 would be first and 9 second.
Is there any objection?
Fine with that. And a second item, and I want to add an item underneath 13 under new business, and that would be the discussion regarding a storage cabinet that the town of Kernersville is offering to donate to us.
Where you putting that?
Under 13? Any objection?
Nope. Mr. Mayor, I also need to continue the discussion of Parks and Recreation Advisory Board to what will be a special call meeting in 2 weeks.
Is that already set?
Not yet.
Okay.
Want to look to see if there's a planning board meeting on the 24th and have it leading up to that. So, since staff will be here anyway.
Okay. Review the minutes, excuse me. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda with those changes.
Second.
Jim?
Jim is aye.
Jared?
I'm also aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I am aye. Review the minutes from June the 10th, 2021. And we'll do the special call meeting of February 24, 2022.
Need to split those.
Yeah, I will. Keep them apart.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that myself and you, the mayor, abstain from voting on those minutes because we weren't present at those meetings, or that meeting in particular.
Aye.
Certainly, we could go back and,
Discussion.
I could go back and review the audio, but since we had 3 council members that were there and present, I don't see any reason why we can't move along and
I'll second that
we'd be allowed
motion.
to abstain. So that's my motion.
Second that motion.
I'll have discussion and just explain my no vote that'll happen on this. Gentlemen, if in 2 years, if Jimmy and Jim and I are gone, we're gonna have 3 new guys up here, and if they all have this same philosophy, you'll never get a set of minutes passed.
Well, at that point in time, we'll have the option to go back and have one of those new council members listen to the audio, check through the minutes and check them for accuracy. I'm just not comfortable voting when I haven't listened to the audio, I wasn't present at the meeting. I think it's very important that our meeting minutes be accurate, and I just, I don't let anybody else fill out my checks before I sign them, and I just, it's nothing against any member of council, staff, or anything like that. I just, I have a high standard for our minutes, and I'm not comfortable voting for them with it unless I check them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Jim?
No.
Derek?
No.
Jimmy?
No?
And Tim and I both are abstaining.
Well, that was a vote to allow
Oh,
us to
excuse me.
abstain.
That's correct.
Pardon me.
No.
So I vote aye to abstain.
I will abstain. I'm just not gonna vote one way or the other on it.
Okay. Now my opinion is we need to have a motion to approve the June 10th, 2021 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 10th, 2021 minutes.
Second? Jim?
Jim is aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
This one we were abstaining from.
No, I'm nay,
Okay,
forced into it.
okay. I am abstaining from that vote. We have a special called meeting of February the 24th, 2022. We just need to review those minutes and adopt them. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the special call meeting from February 24th of 2022.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Jim?
Aye.
Dirk?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I am I. Public safety. Todd, are you presenting? Good.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So for the month of February, which was the shortest month of the year, we were still very busy. We had a total of 72 calls for the month, 34 which were fire-related, and 38 were medical and other. And I should say the 38 medical are definitive calls, vehicle accidents and all. The 34 fire-related also has service calls and non-fire related in with them. They're just all in one. So continued busy month, a lot going on, and we anticipate to continue to stay busy. Just want to drop a tip for everybody. We're headed into that time of the year, especially in our part of North Carolina where severe weather. March, 1st of April and all is really bad in the southeast for tornadoes. And we've already had thunderstorms. We know we get those. So just a reminder to go ahead and start preparing yourself now. If you don't have a weather radio, we always suggest you buy one. I'm sure there's all kind of apps that goes on phones now that will alert you. And these are especially important at night because so many people die at night because of these storms, tornadoes, flash floods, all the things that go along with severe weather because they're not notified. So anything you can do to notify yourself, that just gives you that much more of a chance. And as I said again, we unfortunately experience a lot of these storms and things at night for whatever reason. The other thing is, along with your notification, have a plan like you do your fire escape plan. Should something happen, does everybody know where you're going? If something were to happen to your house, where we're gonna try to meet at. And it doesn't hurt to talk to your neighbors. We're getting so many neighborhoods and everything now that you can help each other in these type situations. So the planning part of this is really, really big as it is with anything else. And like I say, we're in a prime spot and we do have a lot of storms in this area. Thank goodness we don't have a lot of tornadoes like they do in the Midwest and all, but we're still prone to them. We just want everyone to be prepared and be safe. Thank you. Have a good
Thank you, Chief.
Todd, we got a
Todd, one more.
barbecue coming up.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up the same thing.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Look at
We-
Jim and I
we-
thinking about food up here.
We do, Saturday the 26th.
will be our annual barbecue. And it is takeout only, drive-through takeout. So, it's $8 a pound, and then slaw, so it's $2. So come through. Unfortunately, we're not taking pre-orders on that because if we did, we have to hold it and all, so it's first come, first serve, and when it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone, yeah, we start at 11 o'clock. Y'all spread the word, we'd like to be out there by 11:15 if at all possible, so we would certainly appreciate that.
Yeah.
But, come out and join us, it's good barbecue.
That's right.
Chief Golden, that is March 26th, correct?
Yes, yes.
Is that $8 a pound or $8 like a takeout plate?
No, it's just by the pound, yeah.
Great.
Anything else? All right, thank you, guys.
Todd.
Thank you, Chief. Administrative reports. Robin? Dale?
This month, we had 3 meters installed, 16 applications for transfer of service, 59 meters and applications put on hold by builders, 63 811 calls, 670 water bills we sent out, 22 work orders have been prepared. Priscilla has purchased 32 meters, and we have 32 on back order. We are having supply-demand issues. We also have ordered chlorine that will be needed once the weather starts getting hotter. She has been working on the backflow reminder calls every, I think it's 2 years. You're required to have your that's a hard word to say, backflow serviced, and Priscilla's following up on that. After last month's meeting, we had a work day on February 11th. We were able to get through part of the files, and in that conversation, we talked about having a shredding event, maybe making it a community event. So I have made contact with Shamrock Shredding, that's hard to say too. And it's my understanding that they book a year out, or are booked a year out. So it's not something we can do right away, but we will be working on that.
Is there an alternative company?
Is what?
Is there an alternative company?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'll do some more research. This is the most popular one that most
Okay.
people around here use, but I'll check and see.
Okay.
The deputy clerk has attended her notary class, and she successfully finished that class. We've sent off for her notary registration. We have started a complaint log at the request of Councilman Landreth. We will be recording each complaint call that we have, and we'll give that to the council weekly, monthly, however you want us to distribute that. I've been going through the contracts, excuse me, and starting an index of all the contracts, and I think I've reached out to a couple of them that are expiring in the near future. Keep you updated on that. We are required to file a quarterly HUBSCO construction report. That's historically underutilized business report through the North Carolina Department of Administration. That was submitted this week, and we'll be working with Kim on the budget and continuing to catch things up.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you, Dale. Mr. Foy, events?
No,
Oops.
no update if
I'm sorry.
that's really me.
I jumped ahead.
Okay.
Planning Board. Anybody here from the Planning Board?
I make a motion that we appoint Michael Threet to replace Ronald Southard and remove Ronald Southard to an alternate's position per his request.
I'll second it, but it is on the agenda for us to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the proper time to do it.
Oh, forgive me, I jumped the gun. All right, I got a head start on that one then.
Yeah, you wanna let's wait?
We can. We can just, we
I mean,
can, we can bring it back
really,
up.
that's when we should do it, isn't it?
I agree, let's wait.
We'll bring it back up. No report from the Planning Board, though. Okay. Events Committee.
No, sir, no update.
No updates. Jim, property?
None to report.
Okay. And our financials, Kim?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We will start with the general fund. Oh, I forgot the microphone. Okay. We'll start with the general fund. On the balance sheet, for the Bank of Oak Ridge, the money market account, we have, and these are as of February 28th, 2022. Our balance is $23,247.31. Our total Bank of Oak Ridge in the CDARS is $2,558,914.30. Our Fidelity checking account is $514,545.10. Petty cash is $150. Total bank accounts is $3,096,856.71. Our accounts receivable for the general fund, which means the water enterprise account, owes the general fund for Gary. His salary for the month of February is $530.35. That does include the town's FICA as well. Our water reimbursement amount for the month of February is $9,599.62. Total accounts receivable for the month of February is $10,129.97. All right. If anyone has any questions on the general fund, I'd be happy to answer those. Okay, we'll move to the water. In the water enterprise for the balance sheet, our total CDARS are $499,649.36. Our checking account is $557,603.96. The capital reserve fund as of February 28th, 2022 is $160,681.70. The North Carolina Management mutual fund is $522,517.24. Our regular savings with the water enterprise, and that also is with Fidelity Bank, is $45,049.48. Our total bank accounts for the water enterprise is $1,785,501.74. Our total accounts receivables for the water enterprise, and this is for the total all across for the water, not just February, this includes February, is $31,064.10. For the month of February, our water accounts receivable is $28,365.63. Also, for the month of February, our capacity fees were $10,500, and those will be transferred as well into our CRF fund. And that is all that I have for the financials, unless anyone has any questions.
Kim, you may want to change that water enterprise account. You've got it for January.
Oops, sorry.
You've got it labeled for January 2022, and you said it covered through February?
It is, it's February. My apologies.
I just thought you
Yep.
may want to change it.
I will. That does
Okay.
need to be, it does need to say as of February 2022. I'm sorry.
Okay. Any questions of Kim?
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Tim.
Citizens' comments. I tell you, we've got some candidates here today with us. So let's let these folks speak, and that way if they don't want to stay for the rest of this exciting evening, they might not have to. Mr. McClellan, our neighbor.
Good evening, Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. It's an honor to be here with you tonight. I'm George McClellan. I am a candidate for the Republican nomination for County Commission here in District 3. I'm going to be kind of brief here. I am running, and I bring 10 years of experience on the Oak Ridge Town Council to this office. 10 budgets without raising taxes. In fact, one time we actually lowered the tax rate. And I can assure you that when I get on as your representative on the commission, I will not favor raising the tax rates. If anything, I will try to lower those tax rates. With regards to education, I do support reasonable budgetary requests, but the money must also follow the child. As far as business goes, I want a business-friendly environment in our county. I do not favor any mass mandates or mandates in general because they typically miss the target. And I think businesses need to focus on what business does best, which is to prosper and to create new jobs. Last thing a business owner needs to worry about is who's wearing a mask. So I'm asking for your vote on Republican primary, May 17 of this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
Avery Crump?
Good evening to you all,
Welcome.
Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and the members. I am actually your elected district attorney, Avery Michelle Crump. I've been your elected district attorney since 2018. Prior to that, I was your district court judge for over 9 years, elected every 4 years. And before that, I was your assistant district attorney prosecuting the serious felonies that we had in Guilford County. When I say serious felonies, I'm talking about murders and sex offenses. I was the sex prosecutor. That was the name that I was called. I stepped down from the bench in 2018 after consulting with my husband and my family, and it was on my heart to run to be your elected district attorney. I ran, and I was successful, and I hope this is not your first time hearing me or seeing my name or hearing my name, but I'm up for re-election. I am up for re-election, and I think I've done a great job, okay? I've had the only administration to deal with the pandemic and the court closures. Whether we wanted the court closures or not, it happened. I'm the only administration that had to deal with 3 floodings in the High Point Courthouse, because you all are aware, a lot of people aren't aware, but I'm sure you all are aware because you're here in Guilford County. You know we have the courthouse in Greensboro and the courthouse in High Point. But my team, we rose above all of that. We've been working hard for you all. We've been working to get on top of the violent crime. And I will tell you, my policy is we are tough on violent crime, okay? Tough on violent crime. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but when it comes to violent crime, and I've already explained to you about my history and what I did, then I am tough on violent crime. I will also tell you, though, that I do believe in second chances for nonviolent offenses. I started the driver's license restoration program here in Guilford County in 2019, and I've helped about 12 to 15,000 citizens get their driver's license back. And why was that? Because it was something that was needed, because that protects us as well. It protects us if there is an accident of someone driving with no insurance. So why am I running again? Because I'm good at my job, I love my job, and I need your support. And I'm here asking for your support because I don't take anything for granted. I work hard. And for those that don't know, I was the first female elected district attorney here in Guilford County, and I want to continue doing the hard job that I was elected to do. I also have a primary on May 17th, and then I'll have a general in November. I'm asking for your support on May the 17th. Early voting starts April the 28th, in case you all do not know that. But I'm also going to be here asking for your support in November. I know this is not the time where you can take questions, but I can actually hang around if you all have any questions for me after your meeting.
Ms. Crump, may I ask a question? Is this a partisan seat? Will you be on both the Republican and Democrat primary?
It is a partisan seat.
Okay.
It's a Democrat. I am a Democrat.
Okay.
However, I tell people all the time, I represent everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I don't take anything for granted.
Great. I was just inquiring. I appreciate you being here.
Yes, ma'am. I do have a card. Never travel without them. Any other questions? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. We do appreciate it, and good luck. Phil Bird.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm really happy to be here, honored to be here tonight. I've been here before in this building many times. I am a candidate for Guilford County Sheriff. I retired in 2014 after 30 years. On my 21st birthday, I know where I was at. I was filling an application to be a deputy sheriff in Guilford County. And I spent over half my life with Guilford County. I started out in the detention center, walking the floors of Guilford County Jail, went to patrol, went to detective division, worked every section in detective division. I spent 9 years as a detective sergeant, 3 years as operation lieutenant, and 10 years as a divisional commander, retiring in 2014. I built my leadership over 3 different sheriffs, not one. I was actually hired by Jim Proffitt. I worked 8 years for Walter Birch and 20 years for B.J. Barnes. In that time frame, I've watched the towns become canceled towns over the years. I was in Summerfield District when Oak Ridge, and also when the town of Stokesdale became a cancel. So I watched a lot over the years, Pleasant Garden become towns, and I've worked with most of them throughout my career, either as a lieutenant or as a commander or as a detective sergeant. So I'm very familiar with the townships, very familiar with Guilford County. I worked hard through my 30 years. I provided a lot of leadership. I worked well with the other agencies, my transparency, and knowing what the job entails. I think it's very important to understand what your agency, what the constitutional duties are, also being able to set the standards, understand what your folks below you need to be doing, and setting those standards and being able to understand what they have to get done. So that's where I am. I want you to be able to put a face with a sign when you start seeing signs around. There's been signs out since about last July when I started my campaign trail. And I think it's that important. I think it's that important to the citizens of Guilford County. So with that, I appreciate it, and look for my signs around your part of town. Thanks.
Thank you. You also have the primary in May?
I do have a primary May 17th. The early voting will start April 28th. I'll have a primary and, of course, the general election. So I will be running hard for about the next 49 days until we get there.
Thank you.
Good luck, thank you.
Bobby Dalton? Is Bobby here? There she is.
Good evening, Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and the Town Council members.
Good evening.
I come here tonight to speak about something that is really bothering me. Just recently in the mail, I received a letter from Guilford County Tax Department reevaluation of my property for this year. And a year ago, my property was valued at $75,900. Well, this year, on the thing dated from February 22nd, it has gone up to $122,900. And I believe we should do something about this. If we have to form a caravan of people to go over to the Guilford County Board of Commissioners meeting and tell them, you know, this isn't all right.
Is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Dalton.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Dalton, you are aware of the appeal procedures that are on your form?
Yes. Oh. Yes, sir, I am.
I looked at mine today as well, so that would probably be where I would start on a personal note.
Okay.
Make sure you knew that you did have that right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eileen Terry?
I have an answer for her as a former assessor for over 25 years.
Go.
Research was done, hon. It wasn't you that was just singled out. And they decided, after doing figures and everything, that the real estate market has gone up 20%. I myself got an increase. The best way to handle that is to call the assessment department, and you have to have because I used to work there and I know how it works. You have to have some comparable houses to yours that's sold. Now, the best way to do that is to go on to Zillow and put in your address and see if you can find houses that sold. We don't, as a town, have anything to do with that. And storming the assessment department is not going to help. I can tell you this much. I helped some neighbors about 5 years ago get their assessment lowered, and I was offered a job because it was done the right way. So the worst thing to do is call up and yell at them. I would just tell you to do a little bit of research and present it to them, because there is a way to grieve. Grieve means that you don't agree with the value they put on your house. And I can see where you're coming from. They raised me, and I might fight them too. So good luck, honey, okay? Everybody got it. My son got it too. He's happy because he thinks, oh, I live in a really expensive house. I said, you're stupid. I said, look at your tax bill when it comes, honey. Okay, I would like to just say one thing. I'm not running for anything. I'm running for home after this, but that's about it. As a member of the Friends of Stokesdale, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the town council for making the council room accessible to our organization for meetings. The following request is solely mine and not as a member of the Friends of Stokesdale. A few years ago, the town council and I partnered to bring a clock to the town. It has now become necessary to freshen up the planting area at the base of the clock. Originally, I volunteered to finance the project. However, it occurred to me recently that since I joined with the town to pay for the clock purchase, perhaps the council would be willing to sponsor part of the refurbishing of the landscape near the clock. It would be greatly appreciated. The plan to purchase and plant small drought-resistant evergreen bushes. We will also be replacing the white rocks and insert edging around the area. In closing, please consider partnering with me, and I thank you for your time.
Do you have a budget for this? Do you have any idea what this is gonna cost?
We're working on that now.
Okay.
So just to say that I feel that we're kind of in this together. When I leave this world, I will try to leave some money for the town.
You're not taking it with you?
No, my son's making sure of that.
Thank you, Ms. Leary.
Thank you very much. Brent's, is it Severs?
What?
Severs, Brent Severs?
I'm here for item number 9.
Oh, okay. I'm out of order then. I apologize. Maria Damien?
If she's here for the rezoning, she'll have an opportunity to speak.
Are you here for the rezoning? Yes. Yeah, you'll have an opportunity. It's on our agenda, so we'll hold off till then. It didn't have anything on it, so I wasn't sure what it was for.
You won't be limited to 3 minutes then, since it's your case. So.
Okay, so we got that.
Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak?
Do we have anyone online? This is a public hearing for the rezoning case, which is 2202 STPL 00749 9264, US Highway 158.
And the rezoning is from agriculture to conditional use light industrial.
And it's Highway 158, approximately 26 to 40 feet west of Anthony Road intersection, Guilford County. Parcel number is 225279. Sorry.
Mr. Bass.
Let me do it.
You got it, go ahead.
So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for identifying the case. At this point, we're going to turn this over to Mr. Oliver Bass. He's the Guilford County Planner, and he's going to report out on the staff report.
Yes, as you mentioned, this is a request to rezone the property from AG, which is the agricultural zoning, to CZLI, which is a conditional use light industrial zoning. The applicant proposes two conditions. One is to limit the use to general contractor business. And second is to limit the site for storage of equipment for the contractor business. The property is in the AG agricultural district, primarily intended to accommodate agricultural uses, while the light industrial district is primarily intended to accommodate limited manufacturing, wholesale, warehousing, and research development type activities. And the conditional zoning district is a companion district to every district in the listed in the town of Stokesdale ordinance, including the light industrial district. All regulations that apply to a general use district of LI would also apply to the companion CZ district. All other regulations which may be offered by the property owner and approved by the town as part of the rezoning request will also apply. And this property is also located in the Scenic Corridor Overlay District. The character of the area is primarily rural and low-density residential. The area of undeveloped property that is zoned HB is just west of this. HB is highway business, which is just west of the subject property. The existing land use on the property is undeveloped, and the surrounding uses include undeveloped land, single-family residential, and there are no historic properties on the site. No historic properties on the site that would be impacted by this rezoning. With regard to the land use analysis, it is covered by the Stokesdale Land Use Plan, which is adopted in 2007. The plan recommends it for residential. The residential land use designation is intended to preserve Stokesdale rural character by establishing uniform residential densities. There are several policies that was adopted to implement this, including minimum lot sizes of 40,000 square feet. The requested action is consistent with the recommendation of the Stokesdale Future Land Use Plan. The residential development area is intended to promote residential development at low densities. The staff recommendation was to deny, although the proposed conditions and landscaping requirements will mitigate the potential impacts on neighboring property. The requested action is consistent with the recommendation of the land use plan, and it's in an area that is primarily single-family residential, and the area and subdivisions. This case was presented to the planning board at their February meeting. The planning board voted to recommend approval of the rezoning based on the limited impacts that the proposed conditions would impose on the adjacent properties. And that concludes my report.
Would anyone like to speak? Would anyone like to speak in favor of this rezoning?
Oh, hold on a minute.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask Mr. Bass maybe a question.
Please.
So before he sits down. Mr. Bass, the main reason that the staff is denying this is because of the land use map, is that correct?
That is the main reason, and some of the surrounding development it will be isolated in that area.
Right. Stokesdale has before went against the land use map. I mean, it's more of a guideline, correct?
Yeah, it's a guideline. However, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the land use plan is a policy document. It's a recommendation, and the main thing is if you find it in the public's interest, it's if you find a rezoning, it's in the public interest and it is reasonable, given the conditions in the area, then you are allowed to go against the land use plan, but it is recommended that you would, it is recommended that you do adopt an amendment to that land use plan to just make it, to match, make it consistent.
Right, we have done that before here in town.
Yes, yes. Yes, and, you know, and that may be, if you think it's, if you believe it's reasonable in the public interest to do so, then you're perfectly within your right to do
Yeah,
that.
the reason I say that is because a lot of folks think that the land use map is a law
Correct.
that has to be gone by, and then if it's not, then, you know, we've done something wrong. That's the reason I asked you that question, so thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Bass, this may be a better question for the property owner, but when I see that this is a general contractor business and storage of equipment for a contractor business, has the type of equipment been communicated to you? Equipment it'll be?
Not necessarily. I mean, I would assume that it would be earth moving, some earth moving. They can speak to it better than I. I'd just be speculating.
Okay.
Are they allowed to do outside storage, or does it have to be in a building?
It would have to be in the building, in a light industrial district.
Maybe more along what you're thinking.
Okay.
Storage wood?
Yes, no outside storage in the LI zoning district.
Really?
So to define that, you're saying that they can't have a trailer and a backhoe sitting on it outside?
Well, if it is outside, I believe it, I can't remember exactly what the ordinance says, but it would have to be fenced in and screened.
And that's
Those outside outdoor storage areas. I'm sorry? Yeah.
And is that a light industrial requirement or a requirement of the scenic corridor?
Well, scenic corridor does require fencing, but that's a light industrial requirement.
Okay.
Ms. Davian, would you like to speak?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, basically what our company does, it's a subcontractor for concrete. We work for different companies, and our equipments will be skid steers, mini excavators, will be that kind of equipment, trailers and the trucks, and everything will be fenced in. We will do everything according to the codes and work with everything that we need to do to be able to get this approved.
Are you ever planning on putting a home or anything on this property? Because it's what, 10 acres?
No, we basically want to just do it for our business.
Just for your business?
It's a pretty big lot, and there's also some on top of the property from the previous owner that we bought this property from. And we might want to be able to get that and build our home, maybe.
Right.
But for now, it's just we're focusing on our business.
Right, okay.
That we just want to stay here and, grow. We want to be able to grow our business bigger, and we can be able to storage all their equipments in a pretty good space.
Right. Thank you.
Mr. Bass, those are that's kind of pretty heavy construction equipment, right? It's like skid steers and...
Yes, but we don't work from the property. What we basically do is our employees will come to the site and pick their equipment and go to the job site, because we will not be working from there. That's just going to be basically just storage, where we work out of town, sometimes in town too, but it's basically they would just come and pick the trucks with the equipment that they need for that specific job, and they will go to the job site and do it.
Okay.
Anything else? Is there anyone that wants to speak against the rezoning? Thank you, Ms. Damon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we have no one to speak against. We only have the in favor of. Anything else, anyone else cares to bring up about this rezoning? All right. If there are no additional comments, thank you. The matter of rezoning rests now with the council. Gentlemen?
We need a motion to approve or deny.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I don't have a motion, and maybe Mr. Bass can help me answer a concern or question I have, is with the storage of the heavy machinery equipment, that's actually not permitted, it looks like, looking at the table, in light industrial. That's only in heavy industrial area. Table 431. I'll preface that, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that's true.
Light industrial, you can't have equipment?
I mean, I didn't write the rules, but that's the way I read it, and I hope I'm wrong.
I can't imagine you not being wrong, because that's,
That's a general statement.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, again, we're talking about medium-sized trucks, backhoes, skid steers. We're not talking about, like pans and things like that, the big dozers and stuff. We're talking about stuff that can go out on a trailer, probably a Class C license, stuff like that. So we're not talking about a huge industrial complex with, you know.
I just don't want to make sure we get into a situation where a citizen comes, if this is approved.
Mr. Medlin, just for clarification, make sure we all understand. We're talking about a rezoning change, and the proposed use may not necessarily, it's not guaranteed that that'll materialize, but this rezoning will be done after we vote. So our question is we got to focus on the actual rezoning versus the business is going to occupy that zoning. Am I correct?
You are correct, but since this is a conditional zoning, they have offered to limit, as conditions to the rezoning, limit uses to specifically to, the storage of contractor business and limited to general contractor business. So I think it's, under this scenario, it is okay to discuss those issues as they pertain to the limited use as part of that conditional zoning. Normally, you would not get into the uses.
Just to clarify, general contractors are allowed in LI and HI. Heavy contractors are only allowed in the HI. And they're proposing a general contractor business.
Okay, what was your second sentence to, what's only allowed in HI?
Heavy contractors.
Heavy.
Like highway construction.
like Yates Construction, something.
Oh, okay.
Like Yates where they, yeah.
Road scrapers, earth
I mean,
haulers.
but they put the condition in and that, so pretty much what the condition has done is taken all the other uses out. And the only use that they're gonna do, if they wanted to do another use, they'd have to come back to council.
Exactly.
They couldn't just go to this, to the, right, again. So it would have to go, it had to be a public hearing, so it wouldn't be that, any of these other things. So that, basically, they'd just be running their construction business. They'd have to do the planting yards and, whatever, and where they could store their equipment.
Subject to the planning yards that's required in your ordinance. Any development regulations that's already in your ordinance, you can only add additional, more restrictive standards.
Right.
And so they are proposing to use it as a general contractor business, and they have a condition that it's gonna only be for the storage of equipment.
And they'll have to come back to the planning board for their, plat, not plat, they'd be buried.
We'll have to do a site plan.
Yeah.
Get that approved by the, planning board.
Right, okay. All right.
But that's the only condition that's been offered.
Yes, sir. Now, it is at the discretion of the applicant and the board if there's any additional conditions that may be needed to make it more, meet the intent of the ordinance in terms of possible impact on surrounding properties. That could be proposed at this time.
May I ask a question, going back to what the lady said earlier? So I see that we're going to, the request is to rezone the entire parcel, so that's going to restrict you from putting a home on that parcel, correct?
They're allowed to use the whole 10 acres, that'll be fine, but we can have other use, other acres to use them.
Well, wouldn't it need to be kind of parceled out now? I mean, if we approve the entire 10 acres as light industrial, you're gonna have to come back and split that up and redo that.
We just use the whole 10 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
We'll
whole
just
property's gonna
Okay.
be, yeah, the whole property's gonna be rezoned. If they do wanna parcel it out, they're gonna have to, one subdivide.
I was gonna say, yeah.
First, they have to get it rezoned.
Right, so
Then they have to subdivide.
I just wanna make sure she understood that, you know, it would be a cumbersome going forward if that was her plan. So-
That's the reason I asked that question to start with, is because I didn't want them to think that, you know, because you can't build a home on light industrial, which I don't know why you can't, but,
Yeah.
you know, you got 10 acres, you ought to be able to, but you can't, so,
You would be able to do a caretaking unit, but
yeah.
based on the restrictions, they would not be able to take even the caretaking unit. Only be used for storage.
Right. So, I mean, they're pretty restricted.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of uses for light industrial, and they're only taking just that one use, so. And if they wanted to do something different, they'd have to come back.
Mr. Bass, you have listed this, the water and sewer services, as private septic systems and a well. There's town water that fronts this property. Is that just a typo?
Yes, sir.
If,
It does run along that.
if they wanted water, they'd be required to hook to the town's water system.
The ordinance doesn't require an industrial property.
If they wanted water, they'd be required to hook to the town's water system.
I'm sorry,
If they wanted to wash trucks, for example, they gotta get the water from somewhere.
yeah, so, if they need, they would be able to hook up to the water.
Well-
According to the town's policy.
Would they be required to hook up?
Yeah, that's,
I don't think so,
I don't
would
think so either.
No.
Not required.
Yeah.
They can.
If they need it.
It'd probably be as cheap to do that as to dig a well, though, but that'd probably be up to y'all. Yeah.
I'm just trying to clarify what we're talking about here.
Yep.
Mr. Bass, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I do want to reconfirm that these folks can have items like bulldozers and all that, and light industrial, and no citizen can come to you and complain and say that this should only be in heavy industrial because it says heavy construction. Yeah.
Yeah, they're general contractors.
Okay.
They're the general contractor business, and if that's a typical equipment used in general contractor business, then they'll be allowed, they'll be legal use.
Okay. Just want to make sure. There are complainers around here. So.
Hey,
Players everywhere.
Yeah.
that's just life.
Do we have a motion?
Oh,
I'll make a motion. I make the motion that we approve the rezoning from AG to CL1 zoning district for the property located at 9264 US 158, Highway 158 in the town of Stokesdale. Tax parcel 225279.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Can we?
Yes.
Before you move forward, that's gonna require an amendment to your, plan. So if you could incorporate that into your motion. And also, it would be beneficial, that you state that that you find it to be a reasonable request and in the public interest of the town of Stokesdale.
Okay. So as part of that motion, we'll make the amendment to the town use plan, land use plan, and based on the fact that we find it to be a reasonable exception to the plan and for the area.
You accept that?
And I think it's something we could add to this if you don't mind. This actually, Mr. Bass has got this down, light industrial says, in the normal operations have little or no adverse effect upon adjoining properties, this type of rezoning. So that might be a good sentence to put in there.
Yeah.
I agree.
If it's okay with you.
I agree.
Okay,
And I still second.
okay. Jim?
I'm not ready to vote.
Oh, sorry, Derek. Thought we were there.
I'm sorry, I guess I'm dense tonight, but you know, when I think of this type of construction, why does this have to move away from ag to begin with? You know, farmers have farming equipment. I guess I'm just a little confused there, and they won't run into all these potential pitfalls.
They're saying that they're gonna do a general contractor business, and that's, they don't want the case, they don't want to present that as to me, that they're doing agricultural. And I don't know, I hadn't noticed, I'm assuming that's a use that's permitted in AG.
So I guess to help on his question, because I kind of had the same question. So let's say they had a house there already and they wanted to bring their work truck and trailer and their equipment home at night. I mean, wouldn't that still kind of be what they're doing here? They're still parking those types of equipment on there and they wouldn't need approval at that point.
They're using that equipment in the course of their business. Their equipment is gonna be coming on site and,
And they're not doing business on site.
I would have questions about whether or not bringing home their construction equipment, bulldozers, whatever it is.
I don't think we're talking about bulldozers. I think we're talking about very light, smaller pieces of equipment. Stuff that not a tractor trailer, but a pickup truck and a trailer would be hauling. And I think that's where I wanna.
But there's a difference between, if I'm correct, what they use in their line of work to go out and work versus
Right.
having their crews come and pick up all the equipment.
Right.
There, and it's just a storage area.
Okay,
And,
yeah.
and that's a different use. And I think, I've had that kind of problem before where you do have to get it rezoned for
Right.
that.
No, I understand. And I appreciate them following the law and
Yeah.
following the rules. I'm just, part of me knows that other people don't follow those rules and laws. And I just want to be cognitive of what we're looking at here, you know, that I don't want to penalize for somebody for trying to follow the rules.
Yeah, based on the description to me, I thought general contractor was a better fit. That fit, that was supposed to fit.
Yeah.
what we described.
Yeah.
No, I think you did a good job. Yeah, all this is hard to interpret at times.
I wish that they didn't have to do it. You know, I mean, I think we got too many zoning regulations. But this is the kind of thing I think we want in town. You know, we can leave these big parcels of land open and we might get Walmart and Target and all that if that's what you want. I don't. Or we can get some small businesses that take up 5, 10 acres, stuff like that. And, I mean, you know, instead of just all housing developments, you know, some small businesses like that, you know. And if we don't, if folks like that don't come in and take some of this land up, the big guys are gonna come in. And then the whole face of the town changes. I mean, that's still, I hear the word rural character all the time. We lost that a long time ago, but, you know, it still gives you some small town character, at least, you know, doing something like that. I'm glad to see it. You know, I wish maybe some more people would take up 10 acres and put them a small business on it.
Jim, you voted aye? Derek?
If you're ready to call the vote, any more discussion?
As far as I know, no.
But my concern lies with the topography.
Okay.
Seems like it's in a low-lying area, and there's no limit here to the amount of equipment that's being stored, whether it's one piece of equipment or 150. I don't know, it just doesn't seem clearly defined to me. I'm, kind of torn between letting the property owner decide what he wants to use it for, and then what that may turn into if more definition's not provided, including, I would want to see some separation between the light industrial zoning and the adjoining residential areas. So they would have to install the planting beds under our ordinance, Mr. Bass?
Yes, sir. They wouldn't be required to meet the landscaping between, the landscape buffer required between the LI zone, between that use of general contractor and the adjacent uses.
So,
They could use existing vegetation, if there are some, like I said, if there are some additional requirements additional buffers that you would require, then that would need to be a condition if it's not covered in the ordinance.
well, I noticed it was being cleared today, if it's the property that the signs are in front of. Yeah.
Being clear, before they can build a building, they would have to go to a site plan review. And site plan review to make sure they comply with your ordinance and the conditions of the rezoning. And, as part of that review, stormwater would take, our stormwater engineer would look at it, watershed compliance.
Yeah.
Building code.
I just wonder if it's the best fit for them, if they're a small business. It seems like it would be nice if we had a zoning that we could allow them residential use with a home business type enterprise where they would have some parking room, so that we're not looking at they're looking at having to comply with a full-blown light industrial rezoning and all the rules that come with it. And so I question whether or not this is the best fit for them. Now, whatever they want to apply to rather, you're the expert, I'm not. But,
I mean, that's what they're asking for.
yeah, I understand.
I mean, I wish the zoning was different too. But it's not. It is what you want to do. Y'all don't want to change anything or,
We already have properties on 68 that we purchased
hmm,
2 years ago, and right by the winery on 68, and that's where we're gonna eventually build a home. It's about 1.22 acres.
right.
And we just wanna go and stay here in town, be closer to a business where our kids go to school in Stokesdale and middle school, and this is where we just wanna be.
Okay.
Grow our business.
Well, I hope y'all grow to so you can get 150 pieces of equipment. That means somebody's made some money.
Good, good. Any more discussion? We have a motion and we have a second. Jim?
Jim is aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Nay.
I am aye. So it carries.
Mr. Mayor, can we take a 15-minute break, please?
Please, yeah, 15-minute break. It's 8:05, back here at 8:20.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Right here, I got it right here.
Summerfield has one. We do. Home business occupancy zoning that goes a little bit beyond like a barber shop or a hairdresser. Somebody that's got it, the reason I said it. backhoe, you know, a trailer, a dump truck, has a tendency to be forced into a commercial or industrial zone, when he just really needs a place to park that much equipment. Maybe a pickup truck that's got one employee that comes to his house. And so I've always tried to figure out some way that we could accommodate the small guy without.
We just need to look at something else later. Today, we think we got some missing pages.
Like 2 to 2.
Okay.
Had two the last time. One of them was, a guy said that because we had published a man's comments during the public comment section that we were pushing right-wing propaganda. Is that the one that you were, yeah. Another one was because somebody was saying that the town council in Oak Ridge, should have approved a basketball court, and maybe we needed more people on the council. It was based on a statement that was made 3 years ago, and the council has in their plans was part a basketball court. And so I got kind of snotty probably and said, hey, here's when we said that, but the other one, I actually sent it to someone else. It just got
I'd say about 10.
I get just a tiny bit feistier this last year because I think I'm wild straw.
I actually had fun with him.
Did you really? Well, I was expecting to hear back from him because he actually had like 6 gripes. You could just tell he was just firing them off. And he took a pot shot at the guy for what he said. And I have this policy that, unfortunately, council members and newspaper publishers are fair game. So, we put ourselves out there, and so,
This is
you
Tim
can take a shot
Jones.
at
He's
us.
the one that give
But
you-
if someone stands up eating,
How you doing, Mr.
No show, Jones.
How are you doing?
they're willing to put themselves out there.
Nice to meet
And if you wanna
Well, I'm
comment,
hoping the
then you
reason
need
you
to
switched it is
identify
good.
yourself. Now, if they say something
Thanks, so we need to
anonymously
get
and
a-
you wanna say something
get a grip on
anonymously
all our
back, then
troubles
you
here.
can.
Yeah,
So
I
he's taking a shot
saw
at the
the
guy for
agenda,
what he said.
and I was
And
digging through it
didn't
tonight. I
know
was like,
because the guy
1,
is
3, 5, 7. I was like,
insider,
oh, Lord,
the
I need
mayor's
page 2.
husband.
So I
That
think
was
they're making
standing out, and
copies of
he
it.
got on a roll.
Yeah,
He was
well,
on a roll.
I didn't
about
know
the,
that you had worked on our specs
absurdness
before,
of
but
the
isn't
homeless.
that you right there?
He was vehement.
Well, I'll tell you what happened.
Anyway,
They
but
sent me the
I took the
information.
shot at
They
me,
said,
but I have the privilege of being able
You
to
gotta
respond
sign.
immediately.
so it was basically when it
really
came down to
He
it.
really
The majority was provided. I read through
Well,
it,
thank
went
you.
through some of the mistakes, but I ended up having to, I stamped that and I signed it. They just provided the verbiage. So, that's kind of where that came from. That was a long time ago, and actually, there was.
Did we pay you for that?
There's a funny story about that. I got a call from a competitor, we'll say. I didn't get a call, my boss did. I'm glad I was sitting down. He said, well, I got a call from Evans, and they said that the specs need to be updated, and I needed to talk to you. I said, why? He said, because they're using the specs with your name on it. I said, they're using my specs with my name on it. That's not legal. So that went away pretty quick. There was about a 10-minute conversation. He called him back. At that point, I believe whoever was in charge, mayor-wise, I think said, okay, you've got to sign your own specs. But after that, I believe you guys got signed up with, I don't remember the firm, but still to this day, I'm not sure you've got any that are actually physically signed. Because the ones that I got the most recent, the ones when I brought up the question, still was just the paperwork. I still had to sign it myself. And that was the 19
We're
version.
using right here. Excuse me. Here's the ones we're gonna use tonight in our discussion.
Okay. The one that I saw on the draft has a date of 20 on it. I believe that's the one that they're making copies of. Because I asked for a copy because
these, the one that I got did not have a page 2 in it.
Those are the ones you've been using.
Oh, yeah, but the one that I got, did you get the copy that's got, I don't know if you got the copy, it's got the color at the bottom of the first page? I think that's what they're making a copy. That was in the agenda.
We're fixing to vote on a set for pays that come in there and apply going forward. Those are the ones that just different color ink.
Gotcha.
They may not have understood what you were asking. I'm not sure.
No, what happened was the ones in the agenda that they emailed out only had odd pages, it didn't have even pages. So that's what I was asking,
Now
was
I'm
the
gonna
even
let you
pages,
get
the
away
one
with
that had the
that.
sizing on it.
You're on safe territory.
Dressed by
Be
Hazel.
careful.
We're having trouble corralling the original
Yes.
accurate copy.
Nice
Got the
one.
right
Or you-
And so, entertainment never saw.
Yeah, see, this one, I don't even think it had an absolute specification period on size. You know, hell, it's been so long since I looked at this one anyway. 'Cause when I saw it, I had to ask, what was this one?
We ain't fancy down there.
So the DOT, well, and the garbage days, those were the big.
Closer to the fire.
Okay. Well, you got the headliners.
I guess.
Liners. So you're that casual attender, right?
Oh, got one more left. Just get rid of it. It's supposed to be gone this middle of April. It's an hour away. Hour away. I was 35 years old. That's
2 hours.
Only good
I mean,
news
I'm
about it,
sorry,
you talk
but
so much,
at the
get
top
those stupid.
Well, we also went back and ran.
That's the good news. People have to be a
Any
little
of
bit
us,
more self-sufficient.
national news and then local.
Okay, I'm not gonna be that difficult.
Now I'm getting a very
Thank you for
personal
doing this.
view.
We
Son
apologize.
and
You
his
said
wife,
instead.
who,
We got something else we need to read?
are trying to move back here from Raleigh.
Front row.
So they initially were gonna hang on to their house that they own
We-
there.
the
because they thought
copies
it'd be,
The odd pages.
lovely
solves the
house.
problem.
We do.
They wanted to have
seen
real
this one?
estate. And then they realized
I've been through
they were
it.
gonna have to get
We're gonna vote on this
in their
before.
price here, so they decided, okay, well, we'll sell the house.
They don't
So,
want
I appreciate it.
no,
We'll get this fixed, I hope.
they
Okay.
don't need to have.
If I have questions, I'll
I mean,
call.
I just don't think patient,
You
and
have
I,
a really strong
yeah,
stomach for a rental.
you do. I gently voice my opinion and then step back, but they decide on their own, so, and the market forced them to, if we want the kind of home that we want, we're gonna have to sell our house and get the equity on that.
Tell me how we go about that.
It's like a five-part Monty thing. I can't figure it out. I've been pulling my hair out with
They're
this.
not, they're not trying to find a $200,000 home in this area.
No
We know
reason
that's,
to.
we know that you can't do that. And you're getting.
Like you run a convenience store with 5 different prices on an item. How you work that out?
Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Thank you, George. Appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, thank you for putting that. Hired number.
You're more than welcome. George, one question. What are you gonna be doing about getting our sales tax distribution money back?
Well, he's about third, fourth, fifth person.
Yeah, but I done got hope to you now. You can't leave.
We're gonna try.
Can you do it?
Will you do something, say something?
I will certainly say that.
Tim just told me the other day, we used to get them. But you're esteemed chairman.
It was during the period when you had some people who do it, called a per capita tax
Yeah.
versus an ad valorem.
Yeah. Help me out, does your vote for the chairman?
Commission,
That
yes.
sounds like commission.
They do, typically, of course, if the Democrats have the majority.
Let's fix that. I do. All right.
Thank you for.
You're very welcome, thank you.
Hey, Joe.
How you doing?
Yeah, well, you getting some votes?
Yeah.
Well, up here, trying.
Okay, well, you know, I respect that and love that. And keep in mind, journal entries
You
ain't my
get a lot
thing.
of votes here in Stokesdale if you come out and say, we're gonna hammer them on that tax money, y'all know.
See now?
Well, everybody's on it.
1, 2, 3.
Huh? Who, what?
I told you that was a condition.
I'm telling you,
What's this?
I tell you what, you come out and say that you'll hit that up every day, and I bet you
I will
will
if you
find
need me
every
to.
one of the councilmen y'all work for. Cause that'd be big for us.
I can get it,
Because
hang out
we're
with Kim
paying
for about 20 minutes a week. I can come up and do some journal entries. Just
You know, and I don't
hang
care if
out
it's a
with her.
set aside. I mean, I don't care how they give it back to us. Say, well, we're just gonna
Unemployable.
set this aside for Stokesdale, because they would be getting this and they're running their town conservatively.
I'm trying to cop some loose ends
Just send us a
that I
check.
needed to anyway.
You know,
I
but,
got
but somebody's gotta say
certification
something.
held, so that's my goal
You
tomorrow,
know,
like today.
and one of our guys that was up there, what he said was, you need to tax your
Tomorrow, I'm
citizens.
gonna like sit down with
And that's not a very conservative thing to say.
that county, throwing it out.
Well, I know it is,
Detail.
but instead, you know,
Pull my
that was
old one
what the
out, original
answer was,
file.
you need to tax your
What happens is
citizens.
they keep that on
I'm
file.
sitting here saying, well, you know, we're paying the
Sheriff's
taxes
training
in.
standards, so they better
Yeah.
match.
Okay, well,
I gotta pull mine
we
from 30
need it.
years
I
ago
mean,
out.
uh,
I'm like,
You
hey,
can, I've got
you
one
sit
more to
here trying
go.
run a town conservatively.
30 years ago, last time I threw one out. So,
He might, he's mean.
golden
I'm, I tell you what,
If I
I've been
go, I'll
trying to
lose
get
my
the
law
seating
enforcement
arrangement changed here, because I'm kinda scared to sit
I
beside him.
I gotta get this done.
And he will
It's a
show
good
up at your
time.
house. He will show up at your house.
I'm easy to find.
We want our money. Our citizens are paying this sales tax, and we want our money. Feel like it's fair to ask for.
I think it's a fair question.
Yeah, next time I won't be so friendly
More
around.
than fair, they ought to.
Next time we're gonna demand it.
Good luck.
Take care.
Good luck.
See ya.
Let's get back to it.
Tell you the story about that.
In our agenda, the next item is, for Mr. Severs, we're gonna reverse that around just that little bit here. Consideration of revised Town of Stokesdale water line specifications. Who put this one in?
I'll claim it.
Okay, you wanna talk to us about it?
Well, this was in the works when I, was sworn in. The water specifications that we have, the draft in front of us. The Town of Stokesdale Standard Water Line Specifications revised September 2nd, 2021. We might want to revise that date to today's date. But this set of specifications was reviewed and revised by Hazen and Sawyer and provided back to the Town of Stokesdale. And I want to make a motion that we accept this draft as our new Town of Stokesdale water system specifications, dated as of today's date, which would be, of course, March the 10th, 2022.
I'll second it, but I wanna make sure we have some discussion about it, because
Go right ahead.
there'll be some questions that we had.
All right.
Okay, this is revised, and in the red, I guess, is what they added to it. Hazen Sawyer, right?
That's a good question, yeah.
Is that what they added? Because we,
Well, there's this key right here.
yeah, I see it,
Out-
language modified or added. They're the ones that added this, correct? This is, because we voted on water line specifications. I forget what the date was.
It was in February of 2020.
Okay, it was February of 2020. So this is what we voted on minus what they changed. Is that correct?
It is, Jimmy.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so the specifications that we had would be, well, this is not it. I mean, it would be minus what's in the red. Language added to specification based on 4/19/20.
For the record, I'll read this in. What Mr. Landorf is referring to is a color key at the bottom of the first page, wherein black is the original specs, red is the language modified or added to the specifications, blue is the language added to specifications based on the 4/19/21 meeting, and orange is explanation of formatting modifications.
Is there any further discussion?
So the 4/19/21 meeting, that, That was not a town council meeting?
I wasn't in office then, I don't know.
I didn't hear what you said.
He asked, the 419 meeting was not a council meeting. This is where some specifications, it's the blue line down here. He's saying it's not a council meeting.
Right.
Okay, guys, the furthest I have going backwards is the specifications we had dated June the 9th, 2017. Got those in my hand. The problem I have had Miss Martin helping me, or I've been trying to help her, is that we have 3 versions in Town Hall that are slightly different for the 2019 water system specifications. Got them in my hand. I think I've notified all you of this.
You have?
To clean this up, I think we need to adopt those that have been revised by Hazen and Sawyer. Otherwise, we're going to have to figure out which one of these to use, and I think we got a problem.
That's it, yeah. Well, once we do this, these will be the standards, but.
And yes, that would be what we would use going forward.
And that's your motion, and it's been seconded.
Yes, is that a proper motion, Mr. Medlin?
Yes, sir, it is.
And I second this.
Yep. Are we ready to vote? More discussion. Jim?
Jim is aye.
Derek?
Derek is aye.
Jimmy?
I'm aye.
Tim?
Aye.
I am also aye. Next on the agenda is request from Brent Severs, Northridge Subdivision, Phase 6, for a 6-inch water main to be used within the entire subdivision.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Council members. My name is Brent Severs. I'm with Fleming Engineering, address 8518 Triad Drive, Colfax, North Carolina. And I believe with the motion you just made, that solves the question I had.
Good.
So, because the specifications that I had were worded differently, and now I believe that's been taken care of. So I guess this item can be put to bed.
Very good. Very
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's good news. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
in. Call us if you have any other questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next, Planning Board appointments. Mr. Jones, I believe, made a recommendation earlier.
Well, let me repeat my motion. I want to make a motion that we appoint Michael Threet to the seat currently being occupied by Ronald Southard on our planning board, and move Ronald Southard to a alternates position. And this was a request that Mr. Southard has made, that we take him off the planning board because of some personal reasons.
And put him as alternate.
Yes.
Yes.
That's part of my motion.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Jim?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I am also aye. Discussion of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. We have to appoint that, do we not?
We do.
All right.
And we'll
That
be
was-
doing that at a special call meeting. That we
Okay.
That was the item we voted to continue.
Okay, so that's a special meeting, all right. Next item is consideration of purchasing laptop, desktop computer for mayor, council, and storage of documents.
Mr. Mayor, I think you all have a current quote
Yep.
from TCS Computers. I've spoken with each of you, wanting to replace the mayor's computer and to have a computer that any of the council could come in and use at your leisure. We will set up directories, folders, and so forth for various documents, minutes, invoices, ordinances, anything else that you would want to have access to. This would allow you to come in whenever you want to look
Okay, so
up these things.
the mayor's computer is just not,
The mayor's computer will not boot up in less than 20 minutes.
okay, all right. So what are you suggesting? The mayor has a laptop, or you're gonna put a desktop back in there?
What I had him quote was either a desktop or a laptop
It's like you're not buying two computers.
or 2 computers.
Oh, okay.
Either way. If you want, if we want a separate computer for your office and then a separate computer somewhere else that the other council can access, or if you always want to use one computer, we can do it either way. Set up a profile for each one of you. You could check emails there if you wanted to,
I don't know
as
if
well
I've-
as search any documents.
I don't know if I've mentioned it to all the council members, but anyone that I've talked with, please, that office is open to any council member. If I'm not in it, you're more than welcome to use it.
We know.
We know.
So
We're
just
gonna get
look
in
at
your belly
One
ranchers.
computer sounds like the thing to do. If we can all get, our separate profiles.
Well, just tell me which one you want, a laptop or a desktop. I think that monitor is sufficient, but I had him quote us a monitor in case we needed to replace that, but I think it's sufficient.
Yeah,
I think a laptop would be most appropriate, and the reason is if any of us had a presentation that we wanted to make a presentation with, we could just
Yeah.
simply bring the laptop in, hook it up. Desktop kind of limits you to that space, as well as, you know, most of your laptops have the same storage, or the same speed and RAM, and since we're using a central server now, we really don't need the storage on an individual computer as we have in the past. Traditionally, we would always look at storage on a desktop greater than a laptop, but now that we're using a central server, it shouldn't have make a difference on that. So I would say a laptop would probably be more useful.
This is not in this spec, but I would really like to have a keypad, a numerical keypad on the laptop itself.
Okay, I'm sure they can.
You can get one of those for like $10 at.
Oh, it could be an additional piece, but yeah.
Actually, can I make a suggestion, sir?
Sure.
So, my suggestion would be, and I can talk to TCS, is to set up like a docking station, or it's kind of like a little square now that has all the ports coming off of it. And, so we have a wireless keyboard and mouse that goes along. So your laptop basically your laptop would stay closed. You'd have, dual monitors.
Okay.
And everything would be hooked up to that central hub. And then it would set up more of a good workstation like that. It's a little
sounds
bit
good.
more user-friendly. And, then you can still unhook it and it just carries with you.
Sounds good.
Should we get another quote and get it all together, or just go ahead and, what do you want to do?
The hub and stuff like that is minimal. It's probably gonna be just $100 or less.
Okay.
And, I mean, if there's anything more, I can follow up with another quote, but, you're talking about the hub is not that much, and then you're talking about a $40 wireless keyboard and mouse and monitors to go with it. I mean,
If you said $2,000, not to exceed 2,000,
Yeah.
you'll come in way below that.
yeah, if we're only
I don't-
gonna do one laptop,
Probably
one computer.
16.
Mr. Rigsby,
We have the money in the budget?
at the risk of alienating my Girl Scout cookie supplier, I'd like to point out that my preference would be for the desktop. I say that because it's going to have multiple users. If we put a desktop in, all 5 of us will be able to find it. If that may not be the case if one of us got it in Oak Ridge or at their house or wherever that may be. And so I'm just saying, if I was buying it for my personal use, I think I would buy a laptop. But I gotta say that it might be simpler if we get a desktop and put in there, but I'll use whatever y'all buy.
I don't intend to take it home. I haven't used one up here yet, but, I agree with you, but I think, I just don't, I guess I just don't see anybody taking, I don't see Jimmy down there taking it home and working on it at the house, and,
I got 3 in my
Well,
office.
I didn't mean to imply anybody was going to abscond with it. What I'm saying is.
I'm just saying, I didn't see him taking on any big projects with it. I understand.
That's just my thought, and, hey, I'm flexible.
Hey, y'all know we're gonna have to do a budget amendment to do this, don't you?
Yeah, we do, and, that's fine. The only thing I have to say about this is Robin, you know, or Chris, if these guys truly take 6 or 7 hours to set this up, then I'd like for y'all to keep time on how long they take. And if it takes 6 or 7 hours, then there is a completely different discussion we have to have with our computer vendor.
I agree. I think the.
Because that's $130 an hour.
Yeah, I think the devil's in the detail on that, because they're not actually, I mean, setting it up, we're thinking about putting it together, putting it on the desk, arranging it, but they're actually, you know, they're actually like mapping the files and stuff like that, mapping the drives and all that. It's a little bit more than just setting it up, but I agree with you. It shouldn't take 6 hours, but I would certainly support.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could get a computer book for dummies and do it in 6 or 7 hours.
But I would certainly support micromanaging that time.
I certainly have not looked at each one of these online or anything, so I'm assuming that both of these products meet our needs and are compatible with our current system and all that. So I just want to confess I haven't done any research on any one of these, so I hope one of y'all have.
When we first started talking, when we first replaced the original computers, going back a couple of years now since when we went into this relationship, we found out that what we had in Town Hall was more of a home version of and that was some of our issues with not only use and speed, but also security, because it didn't have the capability to secure them as they should have been. So that was one of the reasons why we're relying on TCS to purchase computers that are dedicated and that are designed for a business and for our network that we have and our servers, versus just going out here and buying one off the shelf and then having maybe a hole in the security side of it. You know, you can certainly get them cheaper at Walmart, but then you're not getting some of the security and some of the speed and RAM and stuff that a business computer usually uses.
Any further discussion? We need to amend the budget first.
So I guess I can I'll make a motion to do a budget amendment of $2,000 to cover the purchase of a laptop and installations.
If this budget amendment's not in my hand, I won't vote aye on it. Just saying.
We're going to have a special call meeting in a couple of weeks. Why don't we continue this?
And I will reach out to TCS and get a little bit more detail as far as a workstation cost.
I'd like to know how they're going to arrive at that estimated 6 or 7
And
hours.
I'll ask that same question.
He does write the budget amendment up.
Tell them they're on borrowed time if they would.
Okay, so we're going to continue this.
Yeah.
Do we need to make a motion to continue?
Make a motion to continue.
Figure out somewhere we can get.
I'll second it.
Going into
You want to continue it to your special call meeting?
Yeah, but I don't know the date yet, but
To the next available meeting?
to the next council meeting.
Okay.
Do we need to ask Ms. Thacker to go ahead and prepare the budget amendment for $2,000? That way it's ready to be voted on that day? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Jim?
Yes, and if it comes in more or less, I'll call you and. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second. Jim? Sorry. What else, Jimmy?
Eric motion to continue.
Yeah, I
Jim
thought we
second,
were-
because
yeah.
he said yeah.
Motion to continue?
Yes.
All right.
Aye.
Oh,
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Aye.
That's 5-0 to continue, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
That's what I got.
Open it up to citizens' comments. Does anyone?
Talking about a storage cabinet, wasn't it?
Yep.
You wanted to
Oops, I'm
come
sorry.
back?
Yep, storage cabinet. I forgot it. This is something that Kernersville wants to give us.
I'd like to see if Ms. Martin can describe what we're being possibly receiving and why and where we're gonna put it and how we're gonna do this, if you would, Ms. Martin.
Yes, I found out that Cartersville's doing some renovations, and they have I call it a portable vault. However, it's like a gun cabinet, double size wide, it's about 5 feet tall, extremely heavy. But they have agreed to give it to us from one municipality to another, free of charge. However, they do have a vehicle they think will move it. It has a lift on the truck, provided that that lift can lift the cabinet and lower it. They will even deliver it.
Is there a combination?
I'm sorry?
Is there a combination?
It is. It is a combination. If that truck will not lift it, if it's too heavy, I don't know what the weight of it is yet, then we'll have to pay somebody to move it if we want to proceed with taking it.
And what are we gonna use this thing for?
Put minutes in. Right now, the minutes are in the breezeway, unprotected for fire or anybody that comes in here.
Okay.
They should be in some type of protected place. We haven't, I just found out this afternoon, so I don't know where we're gonna put it. But we've gotta make a place for it if we want it, of course. It housed the minutes over there for years and years. It was way before my time.
Okay.
It is a combination lock. The clerk should have the combination. I had it when I was there.
It's a normal dial combination, I can change that.
Well, it wasn't easy, and so we taped the doors, the handles, so that it wouldn't get
Yeah.
logged. But,
Yeah.
we can, all that's easy to maneuver if the council would like to have it.
So, Ms. Martin, this is an old vintage portable vault.
It is, it's my
And
understanding it was
it's
in a
not
bank.
very portable, I think, is what you're telling us, very heavy.
Once
with
it's
a-
in place, nobody's gonna move it without some very heavy equipment. 2 or
Okay.
3 of you all can't move it. It's gonna have to have some.
I bet Jimmy and Tim could.
But- Appreciate the confidence. The,
We probably could, but our backs are bad.
we're old now. It concerns me, just to back up to something you just said, our minutes that we have in what we call the breezeway out there, I thought those were duplicate minutes, and you had the original squirreled away in the fireproof
There
file
are some
cabinets.
in the fileproof cabinet, yes.
Okay. Or what the other thing that concerns me as a council member, there's certain things I need unfettered access to in my day-to-day projects and research that I do for the town, and one of those is those minute books. The other are the meeting folders, the planning board records, those sorts of things. And I always hate to go and disturb one of you ladies when I need something, don't know where it's at, or don't have access to it. So I hope we're not fixing to lock up those minute books so that council members would have to go and, get the door unlocked and.
I should be able to fix the combination, so it's real simple.
I didn't know you're
Mike's there something you
multi-skilled,
need to tell
Mayor.
us about?
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask a question on that?
It's too large to
Sure.
go in any one office. It's gonna need to go in I don't know, gotta find a place for it, but it wouldn't go in my office. It wouldn't go in anybody's simple office. We'll have to put it might go in the back of her office, or, I don't know. We've
You
gotta
have,
find a place.
if we use it for something else, we'll still have it in the building, and it'll save us from perhaps buying another fireproof
Absolutely.
filing cabinet. So
Absolutely.
you have seen this thing, you're familiar with it.
Used it many, many years, yes.
Okay, and it's about 5 foot high and
How big is it in relation to the podium?
In relation to what?
To the podium?
Oh, it's a lot bigger now.
double?
Oh, yeah. At least, probably 3 file cabinet size.
Wow.
The 2 double doors. It's probably as high as me. I can see the top, but
Okay,
see over it.
okay.
So, you said earlier that you taped the doors so they didn't lock. I mean, are we getting it to lock it? Or are we getting it in case something catches on fire and they'll, but if the door's open, won't it burn in there?
It's shuttable and it clicks. But if you do those handles, then you have to do the combination to get it open.
Okay.
So we fixed the handles so people couldn't close the handles anymore.
But it'll still be shut and secured in case fire hit us and.
And
We may choose not to use the combo on a daily basis, is that what?
Correct. It was
Okay.
not in a place that anybody other than a few staff members would typically go anyway. It was back in a storage closet in the back of Town Hall.
Okay.
And, so it was safe.
So we would never
It
have
does
this,
have a combination.
We do, I had the combination when I was there. I'm assuming the clerk still has it. If not, we did have to have a locksmith come out and redo the combination for us once.
we would never have this thing anywhere where it'd be accessible to children such that one could be locked in there. I mean, that's, we have to understand that we
think so.
absolutely could not put it out here.
No, I wouldn't put it out here.
Well, we don't want to create a hazard.
Well, we might want to.
Okay,
If
so,
we could do the combination simply, that's what I have in mind.
Okay,
It's
we-
something you could open every day.
we've added this item to the agenda. I'm a little fuzzy about the policy concerning voting on such things that have been added with no notice, so I'll defer to one of you other gentlemen or the town attorney. But do we need to vote to accept this thing?
I'll make a motion to accept the free transfer of a fireproof cabinet from the city of Kernersville to the town of Stokesdale.
I'll second it. Jim?
Jim is aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. Okay, open this up for any citizens' comments? Do we have any? We don't have anybody online, do we? Okay.
You have one person online.
Any comments? Council will go into a closed-door session.
I'll need to make that
We've
motion.
got to make a motion.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session, referencing General Statute 143, hyphen 318.11 for permitted purposes. We are going to talk about a privileged water bill that can't be talked about in public. It's a specific bill. We will get the attorney's consultation on that. And we are also going to talk about personnel.
Okay.
I'll second.
Jim?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye.
Leave it on.
Let's go.
Leave it on. Leave it on. Right. Come back in here.
Fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying to keep it quick.
Yeah, that was good.
There's no more financial.
Good, at least my man.
Take care.
Take a break and leave me.
But if we leave, then is it any better or worse?
There's the last one.
Are you coming in? Okay. I'm gonna grab this chair for you then.
Yes, thank you. Now that I'm going to town hall, I appreciate that.
Yeah, but battery is low. It is. So is anything official? Also,
The government, we're North Carolina last year for the PPPs and all those things. Federal forgave all of that, we didn't have to report that income, all of that.
right.
The state did not. We are the state decided.
You do this and I'll give you
We'll pick back what the,
You put battery in here, put it in
so
here.
they have to do amendments.
So now, you know, if they, because I,
Pay on the state.
well, the first one I got in 2020, I think I did have to pay.
You had to pay, it had to be reported to the state.
Yeah, yeah.
Check with
Because
them.
that was the one in 2020.
That's been changed.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'm
But did
amending
it just get changed?
towards the end of the year last year. Thank you, love. So now I'm going back, and I'm gonna have to file right many extensions this year because I need to trying to get those amended for 20. And then I'm doing 21 kids. I wish I knew who did it. Say thank you. That was so sweet, whoever it was.
I can tell you who did a grin. I wouldn't tell you who did a grin.
I hope I never, oh, Patty, don't you dare jinx me.
I wouldn't without giving you a heads up to see.
Bless her.
I tell her that the only reason that I told you was because it wasn't right. But we were talking and you said you wished you knew something.
I did. I want to say thank you. And also, after tax season this year, I'll get to put and thank my clients for the past couple of years. Being patient with me, and bearing with me through COVID, through changes, and me getting because my
Yeah, no, I understand.
you know what I mean?
Overall, average
I'd
amount.
like to put just nothing.
Oh, I think you should do a full page. I mean,
Are you
do
gonna
it
help me
the
with
bag.
this?
Yeah, I'll help you with the copy.
You help me with it,
No
and I will
worries.
do it. I'll do it. You help me with it, I will do it. Because I am truly thankful. I mean, my business is, I mean, I'm going from sunny days when I work for Sunny, and then me and Lisa are battle over breaking up, and then, I don't wanna put that in there. And then it's,
You've weathered a lot of storms.
I have, and it's my clients is why I'm so thankful, because they keep coming back to me, and they're so loyal to me, and I am appreciative of it. I am very appreciative of my clients. Now, some of them are like, we won't print up.
Yeah. There's always stinkers. There's always stinkers. But if you average it out and say, okay, here's the stinkers over here, and then here's all of the ones.
Oh, yeah.
closer.
They way.
The stinkers just, sometimes we let them consume us more than they should. But they're usually very small numbers.
But I just want to say thank you.
Well, let me know if you do want to.
If I make it to
I
April 18th.
think the way that you would have to do it is an ad, since it's a business. I don't think like you can just write an editorial about that. I think I would have to charge you for the space.
Well, yeah, charge.
But I would be more than happy if you want help. I could talk with you on the phone. I would be glad to do that. So you could, if because most people don't like to write, but they're uncomfortable talking, if you wanted to sit down and I could get your thoughts and then put it in for you.
And no, I will pay you for it because I want to.
In
say-
that case, I think you would have to.
I want to say just.
But I think that would be a very nice thing to do as a business owner.
Because they have been, and I'm being honest, and I think because like last year, my office was closed in January in 21
Oh.
because we all had COVID.
Oh, right.
And I was very sick, and I didn't open my office back up until February 1st.
So you were behind the gun.
And I was behind before I even got started
Yeah.
last year. And even though they extended it to May 18th, I think it was for last year, I was still so far behind. I mean, I just got so far behind because I started off behind.
Right, right.
And my patients, my clients. Patients is my other business, is my other job. I have counsel and have patients that I have clients. But they have
Yeah.
I get it, but you're understanding. So, and I just, I told my husband about it. I mean, how can I just say? No, I can't buy an each gift, cannot do that. It's a lot of money.
Right.
You know, and he was like, you should do something in the paper to say thank you.
Well, something in the paper is, I think it's a good idea. 1,200 is a lot of coins. Another thing you could do is, it's a mass mailing. You could send a card. Obviously, you're not gonna handwrite them because you can't. But
You think stamping my name would be rude?
I know when we, at my office, I always, when we send out our Christmas cards, I always want to, I started out, I wanted everybody to sign their name. So we're sending out to advertise, and we're only doing like 125 maybe. I know my, Laura, my marketing manager said, one day just kind of, and I'm like, thankful we have 125 advertisers. And if it means that and I think eventually, just because logistically my staff is so scattered now, I couldn't get them all in one place. So now but I'll sign and I won't complain.
I have 3 employees. So 4 of us, they can learn how to write.
I do think a handwritten signature, but the message, you can compose the message, and again, I can help you with that, with the writing.
I still want to do
And then print it out on the cards. Just say, I just wanted to, thank you. I mean, that's a very sweet. And you know what, Kim, I think sometimes it isn't about spending money for some little trinket. Besides that, what are you gonna get for 1,200 different people? That would be, I think a special note is very undervalued, but it is very valuable. Yeah, so just a,
I think so.
I mean, it's a project, and you won't want to do it until May after you've recovered, but you and your staff could take it as a project. Ask Marina Shepherd, who bought our property. Man, her front office people are always working on mail. Ask her how she can tell you how to get a bunch of stuff mailed out, because they got it down. She mails thousands of pieces. She does. Anyway,
I'm gonna.
so you'll go, so you got your corporate push now.
That's due Tuesday.
Right, and then you've got your individual tax. And so April 18th.
Which I'm shocked about because I'm wrong. Well, I was gonna say something. What is the word I'm looking for?
He didn't get
No.
tested, but he still had
They
symptoms.
stopped,
He was sick before I got sick.
recognizing,
But
that's
we
not the
lost
word I'm
his
looking
taste.
for.
Like, I'm sure he had it.
I don't have anything against that. I feel like I can say that to you and you know where I'm coming from.
I do.
Yeah. That's crazy, how we test.
The school, I mean, they do such spring break. Am I wrong?
That's like Jimmy says, you don't know that I had such a, go right there together, I
They
tested
changed that.
ran for you with nauseous. Yeah, you could not touch my skin, it hurts so bad. The dog
So
got
they're
all
saying
that.
this year, the reason that the taxes aren't
And
due
he lay on
the
sofa and
15th
didn't move unless he.
is because it's Good Friday. I'm like, what? When did y'all start recognizing Good Friday? When did this happen?
So you think it's a
I was
start?
pretty sick, I was the sickest I've
You
ever
think it's a
been.
new thing?
Yeah, because when did they start recognizing Good Friday? The banks are open then. Because they recognize.
Let my body fight it.
They switched it to one of those others.
I let my body, but I'm like having, every 2 weeks, I'll develop a
Interesting.
She was like, well, how's supper, or how, whatever we do, I was like,
Right on that list.
I know it's
You are
supposed to taste
right.
like that. I can taste like spices. And, you know,
All
some things I think I can taste, but
are
then I'm like, well,
non-religious.
it really doesn't taste like that. I still eat, not 2 meals a day that I'm supposed to eat. Or some days it's only 1 meal.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
I guess I had it so intertwined in my mind with the schools. And they always coincide spring.
Yeah, they never say it's for Easter.
I didn't think about it.
Maybe the
Post offices have never been closed.
They haven't. They haven't. I mean, for that new variant, I'm sure mom's the Delta or whatever, you know, I'm not sure.
I think the
Just
bags are
some,
not
they say,
what it is today. Private businesses, their choice. I think, I mean, they're not necessarily. What's my question?
see, Kevin and Paige both had both vaccinated, they did the booster, and they both got tested positive. And the 3-year-old tested positive, the twin boy tested positive, the twin girl tested negative twice. And she
Okay.
the one,
No
when all this
major
started,
banks have reported that they will close completely on Good Friday.
slept
However,
right in
many
my
made
face
the
on
decision to
the whole
close
year. She was sick,
up
real
to
sick with a bad cold. And then Jimmy was sick
individual.
with a bad cold.
NASDAQ.
The Jackson, all he had.
The stock market will close.
Paige had had a sinus infection, but Kevin had some
Something to research
on
on.
his big
You
guys.
did, that's very interesting.
He just had the second
Huh.
vaccine right before we went to River Lodge.
I was like, well, why are they extending it to the 18th this year? Because I figured it would be
I don't know if it was some of his
And then all of a
symptoms
sudden
from
they're
the
like that.
vaccine too.
And what would you, in that situation, would you rather it go ahead and be the 15th so you can be done?
Well, no, I'm probably gonna need a few days.
Okay.
But I'm just, I was
Yeah,
shocked.
yeah.
I mean, I was like, they've never done that. I mean, I
had
remember,
one
because I
customer
remember back in the
But I'm
past,
pretty sure
years ago.
she got it from me because she was my last
They
customer. I didn't
closed when
realize
it was
I
on
was sick.
Friday or Monday.
When I couldn't
Used to
smell the
take
kernels.
this
on
day.
bread, That's when it hit. I had been feeling kind of icky, but I
And
figured it was right.
one of
Just
those
every day,
days,
break
Okay.
rules.
they switched it, but
I
they
had
said we
kids
will no
out
longer
on
recognize
Saturday.
Easter,
We went like a
Because
Tuesday,
it's
Wednesday,
religious
Thursday. I worked Friday.
and we're gonna,
Woke up that Saturday and I was really busy and nauseous and I was like,
because
"God,
those
that
days they're
way
closed.
I wasn't in the fever. So I canceled my
Oh,
customer.
okay.
Went to their birthday party on Sunday, still wasn't 100% feeling right, but I was just tired.
I think they switched.
Worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. When I was
It's like,
working on
okay, so
Wednesday, I
now
was like,
we're in, but you know,
started
anything
that
can
crying. I
happen.
was like,
We're in
this one's no bad
2022.
at all. It's like,
I'm not shocked about anything.
smell it all. You can smell it.
But I was kind of like,
And so I finished her and I didn't do anybody
So
else. I
now,
still went to the school.
we have
By
until
the
April
time I got home that
18th.
night, I was about to crawl.
Because
And
we're
then I
gonna
started
work
running.
Good Friday.
And when
But
I
it's
went
not
back to
that
work
early.
2 weeks later, she
Okay.
had come in with cough real bad. She said she
Which one of you
was so
attorneys
tired,
or
wants to sleep all the time.
Congress or who up there needed
She called me the
additional
next
3 days?
Few days, canceling her phone. She was
Somebody
so
up there
pissed.
said, no,
Then
let's
I
make
saw
it
she was
Monday.
being taken
Give
to the
us extra
hospital
days.
for COVID pneumonia. So I was like, oh gosh. She was up there like 3 or 4 days.
It is interesting.
What Manley Center
Told me
was,
something
she
I
had
never,
urinary tract infection and her
never
diabetes was
realized.
going crazy.
Huh.
I only did it
She turned out to be okay.
Yeah.
a few extra days.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the way that it
Done
fell
her hair,
this
I knew
year,
for
yeah.
sure.
Because I
Because it
honestly
falls on the
felt-
15th,
Mhm.
yeah,
Because I honestly felt it was gonna be the 15th.
yeah.
And then when the IRS sent the information,
Huh.
it's the 18th this year. Why?
Huh.
Why would it be the 18th? And then when I started looking at things, because that's Good Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, well, years past, you know, it's never been recognized as that day.
But Casey
Okay.
ended up doing okay.
I don't make the rules, I just go by 'em.
He's only got the one
Huh.
kid.
Wonder how long it's been since it's fallen on
Friend
the
of Brian,
15th.
Jeffrey that was in Brian's wedding, was in the hospital for
Hey,
6.5 months.
I have 2 questions for you. Number one,
I mean,
did you
not
get your
COVID
taste
the whole
back?
time, but he was in there
Not
with COVID.
completely, no.
Now I can't do dairy.
Oh, so it switches?
Cause dairy has a funky monkey taste. It's just,
But was it okay at first?
well, I
'Cause you
couldn't
said-
taste anything.
Oh,
Yeah, I couldn't taste the dairy, so now that
okay. Now
it's
that
like
you're
some
getting
of
your
it's kinda
taste
trying to
back.
come back some, I can't do any dairy.
Oh.
Cheese, butter,
Oh.
all the good fun stuff.
Oh.
Now I have to order stuff without, like if I order a salad, I can't get cheese on it except Parmesan and Swiss cheese. I can do Parmesan and Swiss. Weird. I know it's weird.
Oh, that's weird.
This whole COVID thing's weird.
I know. Do you have other long-term effects? Other than, I mean, taste is the big one for you.
I still catch myself getting really tired. My husband says it's because you have 10 jobs, but, you know, I don't know. I don't have 10 jobs.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you have the,
exaggerates.
but you have the equivalent of
I do have
multiple jobs, yeah.
Well, between this and RHD, it's full-time. I'm actually full-time at RHD anyway, you know, so.
Do you? So you don't get a burned out feeling from it?
No, because I think I have a variety. This is totally different from what I do at my office. RHD is totally what I do from either. So,
Now, what is RHD?
regional health diagnostics, we have sleep labs nationwide. We used to be international, but we closed at Guatemala.
You have a lab locally?
Yeah, well, there used to be one in Ferguson, but then there's not, we closed that one. Now we're on the northeast coast. We're in South Carolina, Georgia. We closed the one in Alabama, Tennessee. We do sleep monitoring, remote sleep monitoring for in Utah, Nevada, and all kinds of places like that. I don't do it. I don't monitor. I just
You do the
watch money.
financial stuff.
Yeah, I just do the money part, because I'm the CFO for that company.
Oh, wow.
That company is the CFO. Wow. It's pretty much full-time.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, and you're okay with that?
Right now.
Even in the midst of tax season, you can say.
Well,
Do you have, you end up hiring somebody new?
I did.
And has that,
She's working out great.
she, is she? Okay.
Yeah, she's working out really good. Yeah.
Okay.
No, strap right. Yeah.
Okay.
She's working. It's got a yeah, it's got a button right here, and I didn't know it had a strap underneath there.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't know it had that.
You don't put any of it.
That's the close on to go off.
Did you know it was on backward?
Oh. That was a good one. That was a good one. But, you know, I guess, I love what I do, but I will say the past couple tax seasons they've been challenging because of everything going on. But, like, I'm just in a routine. I'm in a routine. Now, when they start asking quite a few things a year around, you know, they're not that good. You know, so.
It's a lot better for you now. You had to go through a learning curve about municipal accounting, and then, of course, you had the whole, and then just a different dynamics, council
I feel
members.
like I mesh good with
Mhm.
every, I mean, I get along.
Mhm.
I get along, you know.
Yeah, well, that's a big check mark, yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's because I'm getting longer, I can't read and write. I look younger.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right?
easy. Here's your information.
Yeah, I mean, he's entitled to it, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely. All of them.
Yeah.
Here you go. Go at it.
And I bet you,
Reconcile that account while you're in there if you want to.
and I bet you he looks over everything. And you know what, that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you've got another set of eyes behind you, and he wants to do that. It's okay. they're insecure, I think, yeah. I was just gonna say, I think a lot of it is. If you're very comfortable that you're competent in your job, then you're not threatened, unless you have just insecurities as part of your personality, but I think you're not threatened by it. And the reason you're often threatened is because you're not comfortable that you're competent. So when people ask you questions, it makes you feel easy.
No, I told him, like, when the mayor said tonight, he raised, I didn't change that one. I changed everything else. But, you know, that's what we know those things.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause I make mistakes on here. As long as it's not the numbers.
Right.
If it's from January, February, that's okay.
Yeah, and it's good to have other eyes on you. Yeah. He is very, very astute, diplomatic. Yes, he is very good. And he is really. Needs to be done.
He does. I told him, I'm like, you know, you know,
Yeah, it works that well.
you know, send him stuff and say, hey, let's hear this. What do you think about it? Go back, you know.
And he loves his numbers. So you're like kindred spirits, aren't you?
Yep.
He does love his, he loves his spreadsheets.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get told by many people that, you know, I'm weird. So, I'm sick, something wrong with me.
No, you're just nerdy.
Mhm.
Just nerdy.
Just in that part.
Just, Sam Andrews said at a town council meeting many years ago, he said it more than once, he said, you know, accountants aren't dull people, we just get excited about dull things.
That's right. Because I noticed that with me, didn't you? I'll get excited over something. That's right. This is exciting. Whatever.
Did you go to the budget meeting? Are you involved in the budget meeting?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything unusual?
No, there's just been a few requests for a few things, which I'm good with because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
you
want
want them
it.
to be paying attention.
Yeah,
Right.
I want it, and I want them to say, you know, whatever you wanted, or, you know, the details of it. Okay? That's what I want.
Yeah.
And see people get offended. And I'm like, no, bring it on.
Yeah.
Just bear with me from time. No, I don't say that. I don't want to say that. Because I do need time.
Yeah. So, do you actually work out of this office some?
I do. I work more in here after tax season.
Okay.
But now I come and write checks. I do not take nothing out of here. So
Okay.
I check for billing. I come to town hall to write checks. None of that comes out of here. So I only come like every 2 weeks to do checks and things like that during tax season.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm out of tax season, I try to get in about maybe 1.5 days.
Oh.
At least in here.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
then I do that from home because I can remote in, not remote in, but I can remote into QuickBooks
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and, I'm not taking anything out of here when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care if I had something on it. I'd have a wreck, checks would go everywhere, and that'd how I'd go down.
Yeah.
I'd go down the paper that way, I'd go down the news that way, I'd have through, you know, wrecks and checks went everywhere. All the money's gone. That would be God. So, but, yeah, I mean, I love what I do.
That's awesome. And you, what age are you?
49.
Okay.
I'll be 50 in July.
Okay. Yeah.
My husband and I just celebrated our 25th anniversary. Tuesday, about the 8th. Tuesday, 25th wedding anniversary.
And did you have time to celebrate?
We went to his whisper dinner.
look at you.
That we'd always gone there for dinner, whether I can taste or not, for our anniversary.
Nice.
But
Very
I've
nice.
had some good flavor from some stuff, so it's good.
Okay. They didn't try to sneak any cheats on you.
But that was fun. That was good.
Well, congrats. That's quite a milestone.
We said that this is our silver gold year, because he turned 50 February 1st. And then I turned 50. And then it's our 25th anniversary, so it's our silver gold year.
July 20th, he'll be 50. Hey, I have something to ask you, but I know it would need to wait until after tax season. But I'm working with a video production guy. He owns a company, business in the field, and I'm going to do a video with him for the purpose of capturing 25 years of being in business and all the different events that we've covered and so on and so forth. And I have 3 categories of people that I want to include in it. I wanted just a couple of readers, a couple of staff members, and then a couple of advertisers. And I thought about you because you've been with us for so long. So after tax season, okay, and I'll give you a chance to catch your breath. As soon as you catch your breath, probably because you would be the last one, because he'll start working on it in a couple weeks, and he'll go through April. But I know you need to get through tax season, so. But he would come to your business and sit down with you.
Absolutely. I'll be finished April 18th, so.
Yeah, I'll give you to the 21st or 22nd.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, you've got an awfully good attitude for somebody in your business at this time of year.
Yeah.
On March the 10th.
You know, there's nothing
Do you get sleep at night?
Sometimes if I can turn my head on, Robin says I'll never turn my head on, and I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about, oh, I need to do this, and this is what I need to get. I'm thinking about balance sheets, I'm thinking about, instead of counting sheet, I'm counting balance, looking at balance sheets, going, oh my God, that does my balance, where am I off?
The out of balance nightmare.
I
Yeah,
hate
mine
balance
is typos.
Yes.
It's a glaring error in a headline, that's my nightmare.
I hate balance sheets, I can't stand them. Now, if I go to them, because I'm always, if I go to them and I work them out and they balance like that, I'm like, something's wrong.
Oh, it makes you think something's wrong. It's too easy.
Something's wrong. This balance, something is wrong.
How are your kids doing? You
Good.
You have a son who's
And
got
a
a
daughter.
girlfriend.
I'm still here and they got me permission to leave.
Wonder why you're hanging out. Go.
No,
You
no,
gotta
you're
shoot. No,
fine.
it's
No, I
9:15.
thought they were coming out.
Your daughter struggles, right?
Yeah, she's good. One day at a time.
And it's back and forth and all over the place.
Today.
Does she live with you? No. Oh, okay, okay. So you have some physical separation, which is good.
It's good for us. It's good for us to hold from a distance. It's hard.
Yeah, because you get taken down in the process of her struggles.
I'm better with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been many years. I'm very educated. And I've done that for myself.
Probably had to go through. Well, I'm sure there's a perfect balance between sympathy and compassion, but not being used and not taking it personal when you are used, because it affects almost anybody that will give them to the next fix.
Yep. True. That is 100%.
Even people that they love dearly.
And those are the most.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, I am gonna head out and go home.
Good.
My husband went all over, because the last meeting was.
Oh, yes, I do remember. I remember after the last meeting thinking, this is why you do it to soon, and they're gonna be coming over and prodding me and saying, hey, wake up.
You got Tom, he'll hold you.
Yeah, he kinda looks out for me.
Yeah, he does, but that's okay too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I still remember Tom.
Huh? Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I think we had a couple incidents.
We have.
Before we learned our lessons.
Girls will be home. Go to work. Oh, you can't leave us? Yeah. Every day just started, right? Deadline Tuesday.
Well, I shouldn't have any big problems this year. I haven't bought anything, haven't sold anything. Should be good.
Should be good to go. Right. Well, you know where I'm at if you need, if you have a question.
Don't you? I do my own. And last year we had bought a house 2 years before, and we bought a house, it was entirely before, but we sold a house and bought a house, and there's a pretty huge clause in there, and I was interpreting it wrong, and she fixed it for me, so. I've been working ever since, I worked for the contractor, and then I went back to work for John Wall. June 30th, 2015, Henry was born August 20th, 2000.
Okay, have a good night. See you later.
Thank him.
See you in the morning. Yep. Great, good. Hello. Hi, Tommy. No rush home. I'm ready to have it. We'll go home and work. You know, it's that time of year.
Yep.
Yep.
Make it wasn't sunshine. Make hay while the sun shines.
That's right.
Go on Facebook and change your password. Go on Facebook and change your password for sure. Did you see what you did? Maybe that's why. Yeah, we can have an app and try and put Messenger, but it's linked to your Facebook account. It popped over on that, I thought. Kind of indication on that. But no, no. Yeah, it's all on Facebook, and I saw it, so, okay, she was up.
You gotta say it.
It's up there. Really?
They should. Again, I talked a little bit about ordinance. He agrees. Guilford County
Well, here's Teeter
has
Road,
some form that kind of takes the place of an ordinance. They do a rezoning. I can tell that they need an ordinance. There should be an ordinance prepared along with what you prepared, but there should be an ordinance for it as well.
Now, how far we
That
have to
shows
pass
the
the word?
property has some, I mean, some balance description or something identifying that as property. he and I hadn't really had a chance to talk about that doing that. And he said, which one is it, you know?
That's good.
They do
Gas
say,
prices
can
going up.
we send something that they use as an ordinance? He said, let me get my hands on it.
Really?
It's a lot easier than reading what we have, but
I think it's supposed to go take down the line. So they voted to
rezone.
in the land use plan. They changed the land use plan.
See, because the development plan, all of that, zoning and everything, categories, is all created by development ordinance. To amend it, any piece of it,
Like they did
should be,
tonight.
like they did tonight.
Ask him what happened to his good money pitch for his teeth.
When you have an ordinance, you have to amend it by ordinance.
So that's what we have to create that.
That's
all
what
I'm
I'm
about
saying,
to
we
get.
should be creating, and we don't.
Lord, not just voting.
Yes.
And then updating it all the way down.
There should be an ordinance in the packet.
Good money too.
You prepare, there should be an ordinance in the packet too. To amend the resign. So it spells out conditions, it goes, then it gets recorded, it goes to the property owner so that, you know, all that.
So you're going to
stuff is
go and get
recorded.
new furniture and
I
everything.
think who all planning sent theirs too. I didn't send it to anybody else, we just sent it to the petitioner. We sent it back to GIS, to our GIS department, and it was all recorded. And so zoning goes with the property. Somebody buys it, it's still subject to zoning and same conditions. So it's the person who bought it, because it goes with the property. You know, you can't buy just some bedrooms, you gotta buy the whole.
Oh, so, oh, you
Same
mean,
thing.
told Conrad that?
You know, any zoning restrictions, they have to put on that, because property goes with that property. If they sell it, that property owner has used it to do the same thing,
I'm proud of
or
you.
they have to have it rezoned.
Right.
And so, the way it is now,
Hey.
any of that goes anywhere.
They just
Well,
vote
all
on
of
their
our kids
others
with that,
differently.
from
But
GIS.
if they,
No, as far as I can tell, that's what, anybody do an ordinance?
No.
He said, no, said that's administrative. Now, if there's a form after the fact that he fills out and turns into GIS, he doesn't provide us with a copy.
that'd be good to have that.
If there is
If
such a
you can.
Tom said he stands for his own, with the city of Greensboro. And the city of Guilford County. When he had his, bedroom, same thing. Shoot him again. What I did before was just created after the fact.
Yeah. Kids are in school today.
Only ordinance for that.
I said they'll be in school soon.
Good trying to sign it and went on. Then there's some of them that didn't like this one, it's a week ahead. We had one meeting.
Like I said, congratulations.
It's probably.
His birthday present, isn't it?
We did, and it's really, yeah, and it's really hard to get ends done, new packet stuff done, and create this ordinance. A lot of it.
You know, it's so crazy because Dee texted me, well, I'm talking to her hardly ever. And she texted me, and she said, the Lord needs a man, just like,
And he said he thought just the parcel pin number,
and she said, Holly, it
it
says.
used to be lot and lot.
So the next day, I was on Facebook, and somebody had congratulated you. I was like,
15 years
oh
ago, 10
my
years
God.
ago, the parcel numbers. He said as long as the parcel number is on there, that you could trace it back.
That's what I would, I like.
I said, well, can you, if it's only a part of it? He said,
Yeah,
well,
see, that's where that,
so
you know,
those are
used
just,
to win stuff like that.
because I always said we didn't get one in this,
Public,
we didn't get it.
my name out there.
That's the neatest way to do
Because
it.
there's people gonna be coming out of the woodwork.
Shows consistency.
there's no gray area. We can tell kids, especially if it's a 10-acre tract, that you're already in a rezone to look at. Tax records, you gotta divide it somehow, so that you know that only 3 acres is rezoned. So you gotta be able to describe that piece of property. You can't just say 3 acres of parcel, because you don't know, well, you don't know if you've got a parcel, okay, it's 3 acres this corner, 3 acres here, or is it 3 acres here? Where is the 3 acres if you got a 10-acre parcel? It's right smack dab in the middle. Where is it? You gotta be able to tell exactly. I did. Did you send them receipts on all of them? But if it is rezoned, then it does. But it just depends on.
Is it a car or SUV?
Hey, Vic. I'm doing fine. How you doing? I'm worried about your, yeah, I think after I've been doing other things, I'm like, oh, I couldn't sit here and start going through this. I could. Wouldn't that be something different? I usually wait until Wednesday, since we got the printer on Wednesdays at 7:00 p.m.
Oh, gosh.
I know you would never do that.
Oh, yeah.
Procrastination, yeah. So
the way it is.
I'm sitting here though, worried about your job positions as they're in there discussing a personnel issue, and they've been back there a long time. So I'm hoping you're gonna come out with this, okay?
It's okay.
Deal. I'm just kidding. It's like you've got a crown on your head.
Well, no, it's not.
They love you and appreciate you so much.
Well, they do.
And rightly so.
do.
Rightly
Well,
so. You are so.
And it brings back some good and bad memories. You know, you're thinking, okay, I don't really have to be doing this.
This is
Because
what
I have my two granddaughters, I keep them all night tomorrow night. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh.
I keep mine on Fridays.
Well, I have the youngest one every day. That's why I leave at 11:30. I have her every day. And my daughter
You
is.
are one of those grandmothers.
Yes, I work in the morning and they go home and have her.
Oh.
And then, but my daughter's anniversary, that was last Saturday, and they just
And
couldn't
you're
work it
giving
out
them
to
the
go.
night
And so
away.
I pick them up both from school and keep them Friday night, and then take them to the other set of grandparents on Saturday afternoon. And they keep them for Saturday night. And And when Emily and Brian come back, they'll get them on Sundays.
And what ages are they?
3 and 6.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, so it's pretty much game on.
Yeah, the 6-year-old, she's in school now. I've had her since she was born. And then the youngest one, I had her. I'm doing something selfish, but I kept Haley, the oldest, every day. And I love her. That's hard. It's 55 years old. I just didn't want it. And you're tied down more than you ever are at a job.
Yes.
And so, and plus, she needed it. I'd take her somewhere and she just cried when people come up and talk to me. She needed that socialization. So we started putting her in preschool, and that gave me a little free time. And so when the second one came along, I said, I'm not going back to full-time.
Yeah.
You know, so they ended up putting her in a full-time daycare close to where my daughter works. And then I just kept picking Haley up in the afternoon and kept her. And then after Savannah turned 1, she was old enough to go to the same preschool. And so then I started caring for her.
Okay.
And so, and then Haley's going to school now. She goes to Cornerstone.
Cornerstone, okay.
And so I said, I'm not going to commit to going to Greensboro every day to get her. Y'all have to work that out. And so she goes and gets her usually every day. And so, but then I still get the youngest one, Kurt.
Wow.
So it's fun.
You
It's the
said,
best
you
of
said
both
I
worlds.
don't want to sound selfish. I walk with a group of women on Thursday mornings, and I was just talking to one of them how much I treasure my time with my granddaughters, and I'm very fortunate because we live 15 minutes away, so I get lots of snippets of time with them. And just about 4 months ago, I told my daughter that I would keep them on Fridays. And it's kind of even selfish because my daughter works for me, and that gives her a block of time to go in the office because she does most everything remotely, 28 hours a week. But it sometimes feels like 70 because she's doing 2 hours here. It's almost harder than if she just went and did like 4 hours a day or 5 hours a day, because she's doing it sometimes after they go to bed or before they wake up in the morning, and she's piecing together. So, but anyway, it's good for her, good for me, and I love that time on Fridays. But I said, but these grandmothers that keep their grandchildren every day, it's just not me. I mean, I would if I had to. And my son and his wife are trying to buy a home in this crazy market and move back here from Raleigh, and their baby is due in June. And they haven't come up with any plan of how they're going to work that around, the child care part. But I'm happy to incorporate another grandchild, but I do not. As you said, it's
really
I have
tough.
worked since I was 15. I am 65.
Yeah.
So for 50 years. And when I finally retire, I do not want another commitment every day. If I had to, I certainly would if something happened. But I love supplementing. I love just spending time and say, hey,
No,
can
it
I pick up
does.
Hallie from preschool on Tuesday? Can I do this? But
had a
those of you
friend
who do
tell
that
me-
every day, that's awesome.
I had a friend tell me that, if you do it every day like that, then going to grandma's is not that special. And that's true. But then also, I am really close to both of them.
Yes.
And if they don't see me every couple of days, I'll go see grandma.
Yeah.
So, really treasure
Yes.
that part of it. But, it is hard. I mean,
It's a gift. It is a precious, precious gift that you are giving to you.
I make sure they know how much money I've saved them too. Because childcare is so expensive, It is.
I don't even know. I know
very
my son and his wife. I've talked to other couples who have children already and who are working full time and paying for daycare, and it's like $400 a week for sometimes, particularly for an infant. Infants are so like, holy cow!
And if you don't have a decent job, it's not.
It isn't worth it.
It's not worth
It isn't worth it,
And that
right.
was, that was an issue. They were they're fortunate, both of them have very good jobs. And, I know last month, you were here last month, the long one.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, that gave the DOT presentation.
Yeah.
That's my son-in-law.
Oh.
And so, yeah, I'm very fortunate. He has a good job, and my daughter has a good job. And so they can't afford it. But this allows them to do, other stuff.
Yeah.
And have, be a little more comfortable with everything.
And you
So
don't feel taken for granted.
Sometimes I do, because it's, some days it's, 6 o'clock before they get there, and my husband has a harder time than I do. Or if they're out of school, Mom, can you keep some, but this has kind of kept some of that to a minimum, because I told him, I said, I'm not gonna make them be as flexible. They're very flexible anyway, but I'm not gonna be able just to drop everything at the drop of a hat and go, but planning ahead of time. They've all agreed, when they're out of school for holidays and that sort of thing, I take some and I don't
Okay.
take some,
Okay.
some type of thing. So that has helped.
How
a
long
little
did
bit.
you, how long had it been since you'd retired from the town of Carson?
2015.
And then you did something else after that, didn't you?
We moved, bought a house and did some renovations, and the contractor, we were talking, and I said, I really needed just a part-time job. I said, I gotta get out of that house, because I'm not one to sit at home as
Yeah.
a kid did. He said, really, I need somebody. And so I worked for him for a couple of years, a little bit. He didn't have a lot, I might work 5 hours this week, and then an hour next week, doing stuff. And then, the town attorney for Kernersville,
Okay.
his paralegal retired.
That's
And-
what I was thinking.
And he, I needed my will done and stuff, and he said, Dale, you ready to come back to work? I said, well, maybe, what you got? And so it was a little more steady.
And did you enjoy that?
I did. John and I worked together for over 30 years, the whole time, and
Oh,
think
right. So you had that working relationship
and so
with
I
him
did
before.
most of the town stuff.
Yeah.
That he had. And, and his health is really bad. He's in really bad shape now. He's pretty much retired. So that, it's just God's plan is all I can say, because Tim Jones had called me before, after I retired, when the previous clerk was having issues. And I was still keeping, too much. I said, I can give you but a day, maybe, here and there. And so then all this happened, and we moved and all this stuff. And then he was retiring, and so I had free time. And they just happened to call me again and said,
They really set their sights on you.
So,
What
it just God's
high
plan.
honor
It's
Tim
just-
Jones to you,
Man,
because his standards would be extremely high. So how well that speaks of your reputation.
He did, and
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised, but
so
that's
it's
a really
and it's
high
been
honor.
a good fit, I think, so far. Ready for take some of the load off, but I like things done. We after we've done things as long as we have things we like done a certain way, and so I like things done a certain way, and it's been very difficult trying to get that done. My 3.5 hours that I work every day, and it makes it
And when you're training someone too, I found, I used to be, I probably wasn't as kind as I should have been when I had a new employee and I was training them, because I needed to do my job and I was working so many hours, and so I just needed someone to come in. And it's
sometimes
not
it's easier to
realistic.
do it than it is.
It
to teach
is,
somebody
it is,
else.
because it takes so much, because you still have to do your job, but now you have to stop and explain everything. And it requires a lot of patience, and I think over the years, I finally realized that I wasn't being realistic. Number one, it's just a shame when you have to hire out of desperation and you're so tired, and that's what I would sometimes do. But The last few times, I think I was better. It was hard, but I think I just knew I've got to understand that it's going to be harder before it gets easier. Because I still got to do my job, and now I got to stop and explain it. And the other thing, I think, in your situation, you're so competent and knowledgeable. You have so many years of experience. So it will, if I were coming behind you, I would stay behind you as long as I could. And if you want that person to step forward, then you're going to have to.
I've told him my husband can retire this year if he wants to, but he's like, babe, we know we can't go home and sit, and stare at each other. We would probably kill each other and go crazy at the same time, but,
And you don't want to be a full-time caregiver for your grandkids.
I don't. I don't. I stay busy. Although my sisters, I have two sisters that live in the area. They're both, one's really never worked, and the other's a retired school teacher. And they told me, oh, great, we'll go and do things. Well, we don't. They don't do things that much together. But they said, after I started keeping Haley, we saw you more when you were at work. Go back to work. Because they would call and they'd both come up and say, let's do lunch. We go have lunch.
Yeah.
And then when I had Haley, I'd take her with me.
Right.
Or I didn't go, And, so it's, but I treasure that time. And one of my sisters now has a grandson, so she kind of understands now why, I wanted to do that. And so it's a balance, the balancing act. And I don't want to do it forever, but, year after next, Savannah will be in school, and it'll be a weekend thing now. We're trying to get her except for weekends, and that sort of thing, so.
When school is in session, but there's a lot of days where we don't.
Yeah, that'll come.
You'll still have them.
Probably am not gonna run up and down highways often.
Yeah,
till
but,
things
I mean,
calm down.
it sounded like we're just kind of at the wheel of the shipping, so I checked on it. Serious stuff.
Big stuff.
I've been robbed.
Don't want to fly them away.
No, I'm good, brother. I do want those cookies, though.
They're in there on your box, or on your thing.
So when the mayor comes back, we'll open it back up and enter into closing comments.
Let's reopen this.
I'll make a motion that we reconvene in the open session.
Second.
Jim?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I am aye. Council's comments?
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out and those that stayed, and appreciate your input and your participation in our form of government.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank Karen and Ms. Dalton for staying the whole time. I'd specifically like to thank Ms. Dalton for coming to speak and raising the issue of the new assessment and how it impacted her tax bill personally. I think that's something that we are collectively, I know that we're not responsible for that, but I think we're going to collectively hear that from citizens because I have got online and jumped around and seen how the tax bills for citizens have gone up. You guys may not know it, but I know how much every single one of your tax bills are up, including mine. And it's definitely I think, significant of what's happened at Stokesdale. What really concerns me is it's apparent that some of the houses, Ms. Dalton mentioned her house was valued at $75,000, and she saw roughly, I don't know, a 75% increase on that. I think from the data I see, that's a pattern that is going on in Stokesdale. Home properties that were valued at less than $200,000, as a percent, their reassessment is significant. I don't know if there's anything we can do about it, but it is really it is really going to be noted by those folks. I think Stokesdale as a percent, this is just an assumption, but as a percent, I would not be surprised, and I'm going to dig the data now that I've found that, but I bet I can get it. I would not be surprised that our zip code saw the greatest percentage increase in the entire county. You know, if it's not the most significant, it's probably the top 5. I can't wait to look at that data, but the increase has been significant in this town, especially with the property values that were on the lower end. There's nothing that this board can collectively do about that, but I think it is something you'll hear from the community on how much more we're going to be paying in taxes to Guilford County. And then the question will become what in return we're getting from Guilford County and how that might come down to the school system. And, you know, I don't know, there's a possibility I'll have more comments about the school system in future meetings. So we'll just leave it at that. I hope everybody has a great day tomorrow. Today's almost over, and a great weekend. And thank you ladies for being here.
Jimmy?
Oh, Lord, I could get into this property tax thing big time, but I don't think I will. All I can say is this about things like that. If you vote for people who like to spend a lot of money, they're gonna raise your taxes and they're gonna spend your money. And they're not gonna care if they repossess your houses. It's just, I've looked on the websites where they show all the foreclosed properties in Greensboro because of property taxes a bunch. And, yeah, I remember Catherine doing the history of Stokesdale here, and it talked about back in the 20s how people lost their farm on property taxes. So, you know, people need to keep, you know, stay on their government. Tell them to keep things tight. I mean, it's, you know, you don't, just because you got money don't mean you got to spend it. And that goes for the county, and it goes for here. I think this town's done a good job over the years, and we need to continue doing a good job because you know, they got to be getting something for their money. So I don't want to go. I'm allowed to get way off on a tangent here. So, but thanks everybody here, and thanks staff. I appreciate everything y'all do.
Yes, sir, folks. I'd like to thank the two of you for still being present as well. I know it gets old sitting out there in the seats because in the previous years I've done it myself. I'd like to thank the staff too, and Ms. Golden, Ms. Dalton, I'm right there with you. I was upset when I got my own tax bills. I think the folks downtown just take our money too lightly. That there's just seems to be trending and more towards more and more spending. That's one of the reasons why I've worked hard here to, you know, keep our expenses at a minimal at the town of Stokesdale, and yet they keep creeping up despite our best efforts of the 5 of us. I don't know what the answer is. I do know that I don't think Guilford County has been fair with the town of Stokesdale, taking our sales tax distribution money away from us many years ago and then turning a deaf ear to our pleas to return it. We may well be the only town in this part of the state that's still operating without a property tax, that is not receiving sales tax distribution money. And, you know, I don't know how long the circumstance will continue, but members of this board have currently and in the past pleaded for the county commissioners to consider voting to return our sales tax distribution money back to us. And that money would help us alleviate any budget shortfalls we may be experiencing and forestall a property tax in Stokesdale for years going forward. and it's very frustrating when we're working on the budget. Basically, this town kind of runs on fumes when everybody else is just taxing their citizens at will, it seems, and I don't like it. I just don't know what to do about it. But I thank members of council for hanging with me and always being willing to let me express myself and ask my questions. So I'll bid y'all good night.
I'd just like to say thank you all. Appreciate it, ladies. Our vast audience, thank you all for coming and sticking it out. Have a good weekend.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim? And I am aye. We are done.